It is very late. Children should be sleeping. Children should be sleeping. Now that the children have gone to sleep, you can say, hell, damn, anus, Mad TV, jerk off, and carnival. We used to have values. And we still do. Oh no, I have the stream monitor running on the... I can see myself doing... I don't want to see myself doing things. I want to go back here. Hello everyone, welcome. It's streaming time. What's going on? I'm Chris Vangelus, Internet, Canada. And I'm here to talk to you today about... hopefully what you can see in the title of the stream. I would like to also say hello to a bunch of people who are in the... Whoa, I highlighted a bunch of names. Do not kick ban anyone. Do not... Nope, I don't want to hide user. I don't want to do nothing. Okay, thank you. Hello Jensen. Hello Trend Salamander. Hello Tombot. Hello Face Forward. Hello Mistake Boy. Hello Mozotron. Hello PT. Hello Oma Ender. Hello T-Fan Page. Hello Long Was Here. Hello Robot Lorekeeper. Hello, Eve Tronia. Yeah, I'm doing another one. I might stream a couple times this week. I have ideas. I have grand designs. Where'd I go on my list? Hello, Face Forward. We did it. Wait. Hello, Scorp. Hello, Switch Ruby. What's up? Yeah, I got Machinations. I got an expensive toy in the mail today, and I haven't opened it yet, and I want to open it, but I want to stream it when I open it, so I decided to do both things. Hello, Student Scissors. by the way, I streamed yesterday with some 2004 news. I'm going to see if I can cram us in one more of those before Aaron does his earlier trip start date for TFCon LA, which is like very, very earlier. I am going to try to do a Boxshred stream tomorrow because I have so many I want to do, and tomorrow might be a funny day to do it because Thursday I'm going to be at an improv potluck, and Friday is when I might try to fit in the 2004 stream. So we're doing it. A little late on the news for 04. No, we're right there. We're in October 2004. So we're about as up to date as you can hope. Like, did you know 3H Productions has lost the Transformers license? Huh? Did you read Glenn Hallett's farewell letter? I don't think so. You can find out about all those things on the stream. Tomorrow, I also would really like to get a haircut. I keep forgetting to book one, and it's getting way too much. And in 2019 in Germany, I got this great stuff for my hair from Ritual, and it's now run out, finally, 6 years later. Well, technically 5 years and like 2 or 3 months later. So now this is a real problem. October, that means Monster Hunter has released in North America. That's one of the things that keeps showing up in my 2004 image searches I do for the horrific thumbnails I keep making for the news dive streams. Didn't realize T-Spark Huge Rod was out. Yeah, that and Diaclone Reboot Dia Battles X1. There's a double whammy for collector Takara Tomy stuff. Why do I keep doing this? This is a... I'm getting a little bit of that... a little bit of that hair... Whoa. That's not cool. But yeah, it's a little humid here because our polar vortex ice and snow is all melting. And I guess that means that now it's hot in here again. So I'm able to keep this up a little bit through sheer humidity. But I'm gonna be pushing on my scalp a bunch of times. I apologize. Huge Rod sounds dirty. I don't understand. But I do understand who's mid. Never heard of them. By the way, how's everyone doing? Little late night check-in. I know it's not. It's like late night Eastern. It's like, yeah, it's just normal the evening Pacific. And I thought, like, hey, I should actually be more open to just like sometimes doing a stream in the evening Pacific. Cause like, hey, we gotta remember the West Coast. I mean, who else is gonna? I don't know. Yeah, I've been since the last time I streamed. I slept once, and I ate some food. Wish I had more updates for you. So this should work. That worked. Hey, look, it's Adamas Machina. So this is what the box looks like, in case you were wondering. Long was here. I was watching more Sentai. Sorry, I keep interrupting the Sentai. But I was sent by producer Shirakura to make sure that you're only watching it legally. Let me just. Okay, let's see. That's my own Discord in the back, so that's fine. Okay, I don't want to bust the seal on anyone else's Discords without their knowing or their wishes. So the Adamas Machina logo here is shiny, and the Rodimus is embossed. I'm just gonna move my keyboard. All right, but the rest of this is just a real bog standard cardboard box, and it's not very big. It's about the size of a Voyager box. So if you're, like looking into this figure and you know that it costs a hefty chunk of money, then, one of the first, like if you see this at a convention, it's probably going to throw you off how normal and small the box is. But this is the very first Adamas Machina release. It's part of T-Spark, which I think MPG is now as well, so it's not as special. And it's a collaboration with Flame Toys, because it's the design that was done for the Kuro Karakuri line, except that this one transforms. But yeah, if I recall correctly, Jinrai and Super Jinrai from MPG are also T-Spark. So T-Spark is just, like, I think the Diaclone Reboot is T-Spark now as well, if I recall correctly. Someone can check me on that. But I believe T-Spark now is just expensive Takara Tomy. Like, it's Takara Tomy, but it's not Shinkalion, basically. Ooh, he's in vehicle mode. That means I can do the easy one first. Oh, I'm shaking the camera. Holy moly. So here's his Widow Tway. So he's in vehicle mode. There's a gun and a saw blade and a whatever the hell this is. Don't know what that is. I'm sure the instructions will tell me. Yeah, Flame Toys is the Furai Action, well, the Furai model kit series, the Furai action figure series that are kind of just pre-built model kits. Everyone who has a Furai Action has told me it feels less like an action figure and more like a model kit someone built. And then Kuro Karakuri is the very expensive, original-ish designs done by the Sentinel Metal Build people. Do we need to get in a summoning circle to bring Vangelus to us? No, I'm unsummonable. There's artwork. I'm unsummonable. I want to know what the little nub is. What? Is this for a display stand? I can't tell. Oh! It just... Oh, wait. It's a wait. Communicata. It's a communicator. Okay. It's a communicata. But yeah, Flame Toys Kuro Karakuri, the $400 figures, they're basically metal build Transformers. So they're the Sentinel team, they got all the linkage articulation and whatnot, and they're incredibly expensive because they, like, are dense with bits and design and production value and etc. I don't really collect Kuro Karakuri, I have 3 when they were newish, and they kept showing up at TFCon, letting you do a pre-order on site with the exclusive parts, but free shipping. Which, if you have tried to deal with the D4 store or whatever it is they use, you understand how that is savings of like $100+. But then they stopped doing that, so I stopped buying them. You've tried. You got Legacy Quake. He's better than Skullgrin, but not as charming. I have Quake still to open. It's one of the many ones I want to stream still. I still don't have Skullgrin. I missed him. But I have 2 of the G2 Decepticon Trooper, who I think I kind of like more than Skullgrin. Rebel Keep. I keep forgetting about Furai. Yeah, the Furai model stuff, when it's like named artist, interesting design stuff, I think it's so interesting. Furai Action, I wish was more interesting. The problem with Furai Action for me is just that everyone tells me that the hand feel ain't there. And I'm like, that's a bummer, because it looks really cool. Now I gotta, because I couldn't really tell the focus, and I tried to do the focus with a trading card. I gotta fix up the focus some more. Am I being... Are you trying to ritual me? Because that's... If you can get me some ritual of the samurai configure cream, then I would like some, because it smells good. Here we go. Here we go. Ah! There we go. I'm gonna have to change this again later, but this way we can see bits. Yeah, I just was hoping Furai Action was gonna, like, feel a little bit more action figure, I guess. Because they have, like, Furai Action now that like, what is it, isn't one of the Beast Convoys, like, only in Furai Action? Like, they didn't end up doing a model? Hey, look, the saw blade's clear. What matter of cryptid would I be? Ideally some kind of centipede monster. I think that would give me power over a lot of the humans. I think this is just a little thing. It does say in the instructions that this is a communicata, so that I think that means communicator. And then, ooh! Feels a little hefty. There's a little touch of metal in this. Not a human centipede, no, just a singular centipede. Does it feel SOC-ish? So, Jensen, my problem is I feel like SOC has eras now. I guess maybe. I haven't messed with SOC in a bit. Like, the last ones I really messed with were Gao Gaigar and the Dino Megazord. And I thought Gao Gaigar felt great, and I thought the Dino Megazord did not feel very great. I'm just gonna put the box away. It definitely does feel like... Now, I'm gonna say feel, right? All I've done is hold the car mode. But it does have that, like... that slight high-end feel. It helps that, like, it's catching some light here. So it's got that glossy sheen going on, like... vzva. Like, look at that. Let's do it again. It's fun. Look at that. Look at that. Ooh, ooh. Lush! Does it feel playable? I'll find out. I only just got him out of the box. His head's in a bag. There's shiny stuff here. Here's the underside. Yeah, it's pretty hefty. I would call it, like, easily, like, old-timey Voyager. Here it is next to deluxe-ish shattered glass ratchet. You know, the size comparison we were all asking for. Anyway, I'm realizing already I'm gonna have to change the focus again. So I'll give you the super size comparison, the one everyone would want to see, unless you don't have Calidus, which is understandable. But let's see, if I'm gonna be messing with him here, I'm gonna hold him like this. I'm gonna get this spot in focus. Feel a little bit better. Yeah. So here's Mastermind Creations Calidus and Takara Tomi's Adamas Machina Rodimus. And obviously this one does feel notably heavier than this one, because this one is all plastic, which is fine. Nothing wrong with that. I low-key was kind of like, why are we bothering with die-cast on this? But, like, given the shiny finish going on, I guess I kind of see it. Omander, my thing with Flame Toys models was for the price, you don't really get much of a build. They're sold next to Gundam Master Grades, which have 4 times the plastic for the same price. Yeah, I still haven't really built a fur... I have 2 Furai model kits, but I haven't built them yet. I just never had the time. So, I don't know much about their model building experience. I've heard that, like, you know, it's... End of the day, it's a model kit, so if you're looking for that, it's fun enough. But I have heard, like, they ain't no Gunpla. I don't know how they match up to, like, the good old Kotobukiya stuff that I liked. By the way, because this toy is a triple-digit toy, I have the instructions open. And that's just how we do. But I did watch a video of how this works, because, what was it? Color Touch, or whatever they're called, put up a video, and I was curious. And then as I was watching it, mine got delivered, and I was like, perfect, this is fate. But I also forgot everything that they did. So I'm supposed to unlock these front bits. Okay, so this already, so something I kind of caught from that Color Touch video, and someone else put it this way, but I think it was a good way to put it. This transformation does a lot of just, like, new concepts, especially if you're a Transformers-focused person. So for instance, there's a little sticky outy thing here, right? Right there. That was stuck into a little divot here. They're more basic than Koto's kits. Okay. Yeah, like, it, you know, complexity-wise, I'm not, like, a stickler, but Yeah, sometimes for the price, like, you know, when they put out Devastator, I was like, ooh, Devastator, and I saw how much Devastator as a kit was. I was like, ah. Color Touch's background music endears me, but I have to, like, be aware if someone else is in the area when I'm watching one of their videos, because inevitably, if someone else is in the area, they will come over saying, what the hell are you watching? And I gotta go, like, listen. I can't explain it, but it's part of the vibe. So there's a little tab there, and there's a little slot there that was locked onto it. There's a fairly clear demarcation with a jigsaw puzzle piece every time you gotta do that. This next bit, though, I was really curious about, because in the Color Touch video, I couldn't tell what they did. So this wheel, the front wheel here, bisects. So I gotta get it... Wait, does it just lock in the right spot? Oh, I see. Okay. Okay, so, hold on. Okay, so it's freewheeling. All right, we're all good. Freewheeling. Maybe I'll hang on. Let me turn the exposure up a touch on this. Now that we got dark parts. Oh no! Wait a second. I know what I can do. Because I haven't adjusted this yet. There we go. That'll be a bit more. Yeah, there we go. So, there is some line work in here that you gotta... It says in here how it's supposed to be aligned. I'm guessing this is something that becomes easy once you do it once. Yeah, okay. So you put it like that. And then... one of these goes in and the other goes out. Oh, interesting. Oh, interesting. So yeah, the wheel splits. And then comes down like this. What? No rubber wheels, premium my butt, yeah. They gotta get that splittable rubber. So yeah, there's the other part up here. So these are both on, these are each on their own axle, because this is still free spinning, and this is still free spinning. So part of it is just remembering, like, which part splits. Oh, you know how you can tell is you can see which one is on this axle, on this rod thingy here, and that's the one that's going to come backwards. Okay, that's actually way easier. Because, yeah, I saw... the way someone put it is it looks like it's a bunch of, like, odd motions, but when you've done them and you know how they're supposed to work, it's a lot less weird, and I'm getting that vibe already. And then these wheels lock in down here. So is that using... Oh, these wheels jigsaw together! Look at that. There's, it's hard to see, I guess, but... all these little teeth and things, they're offset slightly. Do they jigsaw? Oh, no! Never mind. It's even simpler. This, like, diagonal line-looking divot just fits... the thing that it's moving on. Like, this just slots in and becomes the back. That's really cool. Like, it's just well fit. So you see there's like this this channel here, and that fits the stick that I'm moving down. And it just clips in. Yeah, I thought I was gonna have to get kooky with these wheels and like line them up and stuff. And then these things, do these double hinge over? Yeah, they do. Oh, okay, so these things that were on the front, I think become the shoulder pauldron deets. Let's see if it closes the way that I think it does. Oh, hello? Oh, that's smooth! Okay, I'll show you what I did. Alright, so there's a little double hinge here. So this double hinge is over like that. And then this just, as you fold it, it lines up. And then there's a tab and a slot. And then it just forms the Rodima's shoulders. So these were the front vents on the front hood of the car. And then they just geometrically fit in where they're supposed to go. And now it says to lift the arms out. These little bicep covers are very stiff, so if you're gonna move his arms out for T-posing, just move it first. Alright, there's a tab and a tab there. They went into those two slots. Alright, then you gotta separate the legs to free the rest of this thing. So it's unpinching it so you can lift it up. And then extend the wings. Okay, these double hinge out like that. So no sliders. I thought these might be on a slider, but no, they're on a double hinge, like an H-bar. Ooh. Hand feel so far is very good. Alright, then we are... What's unlocking here? Oh, interesting. Okay, so... It says to pull this out a little bit. And then pull the rest in. Okay, that popped out. Oh, and then that part slides back in. Okay. Ratchet. So I saw this bit in the video. This is really cool. So you got this all, like, you know, sliding apart, right? On various systems. And then this hunk here, which contains a die-cast joint, folds in to fill in this gap. And then that's how you have a full leg. That's super friggin' cool. Did I miss any bits of that, or did I do all of it? I can't tell. Oh, and you just push all this back in, and now he has, like, a fully formed leg. I'm gonna do that again. Now that I know how it moves, I'm gonna do it again. So, you come over here and extend this whole thing out like that. But then slide this inner bit back in afterwards, I think. Oh no, this might be easier if you just slide the whole thing out. Well, the instructions said to put this back in, though. So yeah, it's like you slid this out, but then this inner one you put back in, and then you unfurl this. and then slide this back in, and now the leg is formed. Sliders might loosen after a while. I think it depends how you handle them, because the nice thing is that they are tabbing, like the pieces tab into each other, and the sliders feel like they're not, how do you put it? They're not asking for a lot of transit. Yeah, here we go. How do I show you this? Like you can see in oh, where's my lighting? Where's my lighting? It's this orange rod here, like it's kind of thick. Oma Ender, this is the Adamas Machina Rodimus from Takara Tomy under their T-Spark branding. Okay, what? Whoop. I hooked a cable. Okay, so the diecast is just for hinge parts. That's fine. I thought it was, like, superfluous. And this is untabbing. There's a little like setting tab there. Oh, the hinge is here. And then you double hinge it over. And then swing it back in. Woo! That felt good. Yeah, this is feeling very, My shorthand would be Masterpiece Ironhide, in that, like, all the bits are just slotting in when I do the thing. Yeah, the instructions, unless I missed it somewhere, nothing seemed to be pointing out the diecast, but I know that their promo videos highlighted, I think, some of the diecast locations. It's just not the same as, like, seeing it in person. What's up, Chris Muse? Okay, so vehicle mode configuration is this. You pull it out and flip these up. And then the torso slides up as well, I think. Oh, yeah, there. You can see the little cylinder it slid up on. And then you do a Rodimus motion. And then a Rodimus motion. And then I just... Oh, yeah, just a big tab into a big slot on the back. And then this just collapses on... Oh, yeah. So this bit here, like, grabs onto the top of that. And then I'm doing something with these skirts. Oh, here. The butt plates, I think, slide down? Because there's these sticky outy parts here. Does this fold or slide down? This is implying slide to me. Yeah, okay, that slid down. Oh wait, are there... I don't see a tab. I think this is the way it's supposed to go. For a hot second, I forgot what chums meant, and I thought he was calling us fat. Hey, what's up, shark feed? Where's my focal point gone? Feels like it's nowhere. Yeah. Okay, so, then this part, pull forward, flip this bit down, Rodimus motion. Tab in his little svelte waist. I see the slots for it. I wonder if this collapses down again? No, it doesn't. Okay. Oh, I see. Okay, so this is supposed to form up with this band there. Gonna take the bag off his head. And then we're going flip this out like that. And double hinge it over. That's simple. They turned that into like 4 steps. But basically... And it goes katunk in as well, which is nice. Oh! Oh, sick. Okay, hang on. So I had it like this, right? But you push it back in, and that gives him the boob. Alright, we did it. Alright, so that is the transformation. That felt pretty good. So now we get to do the whole, like, just grope the Rodimus and see how he feels. Yeah, I was like, what's up with this floating chest plate? Where's my Rodiboob? I paid good money for Rodiboob, and by damn it. I do wonder... Is there... So, was I right or was I wrong? Do these have any relation to each other? I don't think they do. Nor do the wheels seem to have any relation to this backpack. Because right now, the only thing on this that's bugging me is that these wheels are kind of like wiggling around. And I'm wondering if I'd missed something. So yeah, big glorious rear wing spoiler thingy. Yes, he does have mid-torso jointage. Well, I guess it's at the waist, but he folds forward at the waist. Not a ton, but he does fold forward. There's basically an extended pipe up the middle, so he doesn't have one right in the middle here. He twiddles those wheels when he's happy or excited. Wave sign, I think you're onto something. Yeah, waist crunch. Lower ab crunch. Oh, he's got butterfly joints. Look at this. And like the whole whatever the guy shoulder things. Okay, he has like vac metal chrome, but on the inside detail only. That's interesting. I wonder if that means that should it start flaking off, then at least you'll never notice. But I also wonder what the point is. Because it's like, you can see how shiny it is, right? Octavius, no, this is Takara Tomi's Adamas Machina Rodimus. This just came out a couple days ago. Is it polished diecast? Maybe it's hard. It's so in there, I can't do the back of the finger test. Maybe it is. The chrome was under the car mode. So is it diecast? Oh. I mean, then hell yeah, whatever. Then we're good. Hey, Lee! Yeah, it's to increase the price. Collectors love chrome. Alright, so you can store his communicator on his ass. So like any good robot lad, he keeps his phone literally tabbed to his ass. You can put the saw blade thingamy. How does this go on? It says I just stick it here, but I don't see, I don't see how that works. Wait, is that a hinge? Whoa! I don't understand why, but you can open it to remove the saw blade. What's going on here? Oh, I see. There's the slot there. Alright, so it goes on. They were showing it in the photo in a way that was a little bit odd, but it just sticks on there. And you got the two guns. Let me just take a look at their names again. Rodimus can throw the clear saw blade like Ultraman. Good call. So these have little notches. I'm guessing there is a... Yeah, there's a little nubbin there in the ball of the thumb. So you can see how it jigsaws in there slightly. Single knuckle, by the way, it's not individual fingers. That's fine at this scale. And then this one, I believe... Yeah, you can open the handle to get it in. So I always remember, or I always forget what the name of the two guns are, but it says here in katakana. So, this one is the Photon Reza, and then this one is the this is the Photon Reza Alpha, and then this one is the Photon Reza Beta, with the little alpha and the beta symbols. But then you can put them together for the Photon Eliminata. So I believe that that mostly just means sticking one into the other. So you take this one, you fold that forward, the handle up, and this one... Ooh. That's interesting. And you just slam this in here. Whoa, it makes the front... Hang on, that made the front erect. Look, check this out. Yeah. Extremely large gun. I mean, it's called the Eliminator, right? Thank you, Sideswipe Prime. Correct Transalamander. Insertion makes it go erect. I mean, I can show you again. Here, just in case you missed it. And then, so you see there's the tip, and then there is its matching socket on the back of its partner piece. And you stick it in there, and we push, and then it comes out the front like that. Oh, the red, yeah, red is the color that I used as my chroma key for the on-screen chat. Does it shrink on its own when you pull out? No, it tries to like go like, no, this is just how I always am, baby. It's always like that, but you tap it. Oh no, it stays. You have to, yeah, you have to push it back in. So this, yeah. When it's pretty stiff, actually. I don't know if you can hear that. Like, it's a pretty stiff shaft. But it's more fun to stick it in the back so that it pops out like that, because then it feels like a play feature. Oh! Oh! That clicked in more! I pulled out the tip a little bit just to get, like, the full base exposed. And then this, like, clicked in a little bit more. Yeah, it's got good grip strength once you get the full shaft down to the base. And then this little extendy bit is just so you have, like, the bicep bracer for if you're using this, like, vaguely like a gun that might exist. If you ignore, like, all this stuff on his arms. You have to move this down. Yeah, you have to fold this out of the way some to get, like, the modern warfare pose. Getting him to like double hand his photon eliminator at full erectness, I think is sort of. I think you got to mess with this toy a lot more to get used to how he moves. Right now, he's just gonna one arm it. He's gonna be like, whatever. I'm the rod. I'm the rodster. By the way, this is how they deal with the shoulder pauldrons: is that the wings can just hinge back. Full extension. That gun represents Megatron and Rodimus. I understand. Can you shake him with his arms forward holding the big gun? I'll put both his arms forward. Alright, so if I... Here, I'll do it again. So I got his arm all the way up. So yeah, it's not a ratchet shoulder, so if you shake him a lot, then it will make its way back down. It is not, however, responding to taps. So you'd have to do a bunch... You still have to give a conscious effort to make it work. Don't shake the baby. Listen. I'll do whatever I want! How much diecast is on this guy? Gabatur, hello. I believe the bulk of it is this double hinge chunk for the knee and this hinge-y chunk here for the ankle. Those feel like the bulk of the weight. But he's also got these like orange chromy things inside the shoulders that are debatably die-cast. Long River Valley, Rodimus cannot keep it up during vigorous play. It checks out. Rodimus is all like, I know what I'm doing, baby. He's those guys who like walk up doing this while licking their lips, right? Like, you like to get freaky, and then like the moment you go like you grab his shoulder pauldron, he goes like ah, and then he's completely lost control of the situation. Yeah, I'm happy to say it feels like they did die cast for function and weight in the lower body primarily. Midi Rodimus, the guy who's almost 40 but pretends he's 22. Midi Rodimus, the guy who's got a badge with his own face on it, technically. It's like a squeaky ratchet on the inner hip. But as a ratchet, it works. Oh, here's another solution for the Rodimus pauldrons. Is you use the butterfly whatever. Fold that back, right? But then you can swing it forward like that and then put this back like that. Yeah, squeaky ratchets, I also they don't have good ear feel. Like, I hope it's not a case of, like, yeah, we just decided not to lube it, and then, like, the teeth all come off or something, but it's also not, like, resisting a ton. It's not, like, the worst of these are when it feels like that, but also you're having to go, like, turn, because then you're just wondering when you're going to break the mounting off or something. Ear feel, aka sound. Yeah. How's the eye feel? Definitely up there. Like, I really like the way that when the bouncy things that come off of my lamps bounce off of this, as you can see, those little right there, right here. You see this here, right? So that's not a white paint app that's on the toy, because when I tilt them, it goes away. Now you might be saying, "Oh, is that heat activated paint?" And it's like, no. This is when the bouncies that come off of my lights bounce back onto the toy and bounce off of it into the receiver doohickey here. How's the emotional feel? I'm not sure where I'm at with that yet. That's going to take like a couple days. You can't get to know someone that fast. All right, I want to check the rest of the articulation, and then I'm going to do the saw blade gimmick. So the head, we've got your usuals, and it's on its own hinge for the neck. Yeah, the neck is able to like make him look down like into his own breast. Or up at the sky. So the neck, the actual sculpted neck piece is able to kind of like move into a socket to allow for that. We did lots with the arms. The pauldrons aren't attached to the arm itself, which I know is like a whole, discourse. Good or bad. There's a double hinged elbow, so we can do that. Wristy. Can we do that thing he does where he's like, oh, hey. Legends. Was it scary at all to transform? I felt like how did I put it? It's like Masterpiece Ironhide. All the stuff I was moving was received with solidarity into a new position. So it didn't feel like I was like having to struggle too much. It's just that it does a lot of weird stuff that I haven't really seen before. So he can teabag, power teabag, obviously. Outside of the squeak, the thigh swivel works. These little things are a little bit annoying. These are like the front skirt bits. They feel like you got to be a little bit aware of them because they're thin, and I keep bumping them. The knee is a single hinge, but a chunky one. It's got like a die-cast thingy sticking out here. So it's not it's not a double knee, is it, or is it? I don't think it is. No, it's not a double knee because that was the chunk that double hinged out of the inside of this to fill in that spot. That's right. That's right. Then the ankle is a whole double hingery thing here. Minor tilt. And I don't think there is a toe joint. No, there isn't a toe joint because this entire block here is a die-cast piece that is like a cylinder that this is rotating on. Oh, neat. He's got a kneecap cover. So it goes like this, and then you can cover it, and when this comes up, that cover kind of like slips over like this. So you can even get like that slight, you know, the pelvis thrust. You can pull a hard return. Yeah, the reason why the knee is single hinge, I think I'd have to show you from the transformation. Let's see if I can show you a bit of it here. Is because when you're transforming it, this bit folds out, right? So that's the knee joint there. And when you're transforming it, you fold this bit down to fill in that. Yeah, he can totally do the pelvis thrust. And he can even go double erect. He can be like, and then like, that's when he really detects the Knights of Cybertron. It's like you saw in the comic book. Whoa! Sorry, his ass was not fully slid down. And I dropped his phone. Let me just get his phone. I got his phone. Like, am I just putting the phone in his hand like a normal person? Like, what is this? It sort of just wedges in there when the finger joint is all the way open. Like, it's pretty solid. Just kind of, I don't know. No, baby, it's not like that. I'm just a chill guy. I'm just kind of, I'm just chill, baby. No, don't block me, baby. Oh, don't look at my likes. Yeah, it's kind of fun. I like that there's a paint app in it, so it's not just like a little plank of plastic. How do I give him saw blade hand? Oh. So I'm like, okay, first turn his, because they're like, turn his hand 90 degrees. And I'm like, yes, now remove it. And I'm like, oh, you mean I'm just using the mushroom peg? I am just using the mushroom peg. Oh, that's interesting. The mushroom peg can wiggle. So now Rodimus can give massages. And it says it like shows in the instructions even. They're like, yeah, open this hinge. Hard to do from here. Open this hinge to remove the saw blade. And I'm like, okay, but why? Am I missing any key words here? It doesn't say why. It just says, no, you can do it. Ugh. There's something else in the back that is referring to his waist crunchy thing. It says to pull this down. Yeah, it says to pull this part down. Okay, bees, where are you? Using his, like, transformation joints partially, I think. He does have a mid-torso. And it gets flexive with this. It's like the very back of the instructions. This is nuts, because if you saw the transformation, you know that his entire front boobage is another multi-hinged accordion. And you know that this is, like, moving on transformation hinges. So yeah, you kind of have to unlock it by pulling that down. It's not like a deep ab crunch, but it's there. So you can position the neck. And then as we saw, the knees can fold, like, you know, to straight, or you can do a little bit more for the S curve. See, he's got, like, look at the thrust on that. And then, like I said before, if you want, like, maximum, it's like, hey, I detect the Knights of Cybertron. Deploy claspers, yes. MIDI Rodimus would walk around like that, yeah. What's the friggin', what was that? It was from like 3 years ago or something, but it was an Instagram thing I saw, which I assume was a TikTok thing. The friggin', like, the shot, and you get your character looking like the Snoo silhouette, going like, bump, to bump, to bump, to bump, to bump, to bump, to. I saw it in my reels a bunch of times. Who wins, Adamas Machina or McDonald's Demolisher? McDonald's Demolisher still has the most titanic phallus, I think, of any known Transformer. Barring Scattershot from G1. But if he does that, he's cheating, because that's his backpack. Yeah, I don't know how to explain. Like, I would, during lockdowns, I would catch a lot of TikTok memes on Instagram with no context, and I would just know the song, because I'm like, what is that? I'd be like, oh, that's the Cutting Shapes song. Oh, that's the Snoo song. Oh, that's the Cyberpunk track. And then 6 months would pass, and I'd be like, what was that piece of music I heard? And I would never find it again, because I wouldn't know how to look for it. Also, for those who didn't see, to make this a little photon laser again. Even the guns kind of transform. I'm going to do Calidus. Let's see, who's the little yellow and brown guy? This is the Craftsman Toys nose cone. So it's like a little Computron Technobot set they're doing. This little guy was not very expensive, and his combiner foot piece turns into a little tank, which I think is perfect. And then when they have two of these little tanks, you can combine them together into a little gun turret. TikTok would tell you the song and you could pause the video. Yeah, Reels is the only one I knew, and it ruined me for TikTok because I would look at things on Reels, and most of the stuff on Reels, when they try to give audio credit, would just be like the re-uploaders page for this video. But the Craftsman Toys thing, this is its box. The tank foot looks like a brown duck with a gun bill. Yeah, kind of. Like, this is its foot mode. I just, you know, if you're gonna have combiner bits, I want them to do stuff. So, like, the feet for this one can turn into little tanks. If you have the 2 feet and the pelvis turns into a turret stand, and the 2 tanks clamp onto it like this. And then it's like this, you know, quad-barrel gun turret thing. I'm assuming that the pelvis also, like, turns into just a little hovercraft or something. If they do things, then I'm like, hey, this is fun. This is, like, toyetic. It makes me happy. I have to, once again, remember how this toy works. Starts with that. That's the part I forgot last time. It's very funny. The last time I messed with my Caliduses, it was to taunt MRC, who had no Caliduses. And I believe she now has, like, all of the Caliduses. So I lost. Long was here. Can T-Spark Rodimus dab? Remind me to test that in a sec. Also, here's the thing I'm a little bit lost on for my own tastes. Is comparing these 2 toys is very natural, right? But I don't really... like, my comparison is going to really have a certain ceiling on it, because Calidus is not the... like, this... you can't get Calidus for the price that he cost when he came out. So when one is going to compare the 2, right, what am I comparing necessarily, other than function? Because if it's like, well, the Calidus one might be better, it's like, yes. Can you find one? And does it cost good? Because I don't know anymore. Y'all know the turn of phrase, right? Does it cost good? He's done. So, which one looks better to you? Calidus has a bow, so he's better. Yeah, kind of. Calidus is does not have guns at all, or a phone, or a saw blade, but has a bow. Is money worth? Hot Rod put a shirt on. Jesus. Why are we coming at someone here who's just trying to have a day off? Trying to be a normal person having a day off. The one on the right is the figure without the upgrade kit. That's my DNA Designs photography. So that's my problem. I just checked. Calidus is minimum $200. Okay. That's messed up. That's unfortunate. That definitely impacts the notion of a comparison of the 2. Wait, this isn't right. There we go. Yeah, so they cost the same. That's messed up. That's so messed up. I mean, that's just toys getting older, you know, and out of production and etc. I forgot how aggressively I posed this one. It's like, one of these is your average dude. Nice guy. One of these is an asshole. Which one has the body language? The side shot's really funny. Surely this release will bring the MMC's price down. I mean, I don't know. Because they're... One would hope, right? But this one is so stylized that, like... It's like, when you look at these, which one is from the comics? Whoa. If you say which one is from the comics, it's like, it's that one. It is this one every day. That's the one from the comics. Oh, you say with a hint of sarcasm. Yeah, okay, yeah. I mean... You're not wrong, like, unsarcastically, though. I mean, there's a chance, but yeah, I just think that it's more gonna be if they ever do, like, Studio Series Comic Book Universe or something. The left one is the one from Porn Comics. So these are both in Legacy, right? This is IDW Universe, and this is Mandarake Dojinshi Section Universe. If you've never been to a Mandarake, maybe it's different now. Bill Moo was just in Japan, and he's not here. But when I was in Japan, and I went to a Mandarake, my favorite part of a Mandarake was the toys, but my favorite part of a Mandarake for when going there with, like, friends is, like, let me just go find the toy section. You'll just come find me there. Because if you take a single wrong turn in any of the Mandarakes I went to, it'll just be like Gundams, magazines, Tamiya paints, Gundams, Figmas, Gundams, extremely niche specific porno dojin, extremely niche specific porno dojin. Transformers. Like, it's just blip. It's like blip, 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 blip. Like, that's the rhythm of it, right? Before Snickers, after Snickers. Like, if someone's gonna be like, which one of these sucks and which one is good, I'd be like, I don't know, go away. But, yeah, no, like, right, I mean, this is the new toy smell right now, so I think this one's pretty neat. I think right now, I like the transformation on this one a tad more, only because I keep forgetting how the shoulders work on this one. Jensen, I was at Mandarake in Nakano Broadway, and there were, like, whole mini Mandarake shops for dojins. Yeah, that's what I didn't go to a dojin Mandarake, but I remembered, like, one of the multi-floor ones I went to, one of the floors was the dojin floor, and I was like, oh! I'm looking for the Soul of Chigokins. Have you considered remembering how the shoulders work? I mean, I mean, yeah. And I guess if I wanted to be Albert Einstein, I'd learn how math works. I know what I'm saying. I know what I'm saying, by the way. I understand. It's part of the bit. It's the joke. It's the joke. Calidus seems like less of an asshat. Yeah. I do kind of like how this... I never saw the Flame Toys Rodimus in person. They did really capture, like, a real blithering sensation of just, like, a dog-ass nitwit with this... And I mean that in a non-derogatory. Like, they caught it. They caught the fire by the, you know, triple-pronged nuts, and rendered it. Which Rodimus would you rather have give you a kick in the knackers? This one. And I'll tell you why. Let's do some foot action. This one, nice, normal, squared-off feet, like a good boy, right? This one... the hell are these friggin' nut piercer prongs? This would turn my crotch into hamburger if he kicked me below the belt, so no. Oh, what was it? Which one is PvP's wife's boyfriend? It's the well. Neither of them have a jar, so I'm not sure. He has hooves. He's cloven. Yeah, but he's got pointy cloven. Those are like cloven. I think cloven. I think nice, normal. Like, you know, a horse kicks you in the nuts. It's like whatever. You know, it's rounded. It's normal. Horses known non-lethal animals, but they're so cute. This though is like look at the spears on there. Just like, you know, putting. I'm all my analogies are nauseating, and I'm like working through all of them like rapidly, silently in my head. Yeah, Nut's dead. Yeah, Calidus has toes. Trash toy. City boy, never been around horses. That is also a bit. I'm also specifically doing that specifically because horses specifically are amongst the most lethal killers in the world. But yeah, this thing is really dang cool. Right, the dab test. We gotta do a dab test. Ugh. Working on it. I do really like this, because this isn't for transformation. This is just a little thingamy that you can hinge over if you want the knee to look smoother. So I think that's okay. I am, by the way, open to doing this with shoulders for the sake of dab tests. Lee Collins says, my father was trying to saddle a horse, and he had it by the bridle, and the horse said nah, and spun him in the air before he lost his grip and flew like 10 feet. Yeah, horses are you know, one of the greatest follies that that humanity ever did was go like, yeah, these are like cars. These are basically cars. Like we were tolerated. We were an Obari-style dab. Let's see how thrust we can get with this, by the way. Because these feet have got a lot of, like, planting power. Like, they're very solid. What's up, Picky Peeves? We're doing some Adamas Machina. Rodimus here. Just doing some scientific tests. It's a V curve. This because listen, this because it's my branding, alright? Long was here. That's how Adamas pisses. Yeah. He opens both chambers first. Ah! Calidus always tips. It's the Calidus heels because they're hinged. They always lose him his balance points whenever I have him in front of a camera. They're always fine otherwise, but you put him in front of a camera and he's just like, oh. My little guys are falling over. I'm having a very good idea. Hang on a second. It fits! It fits! Look, it's not touching. Got tie! Rod. Thank you. I was gonna say, like, you didn't finish your sentence. What's going on? I never played water sports. We got any polo artists here in the viewership? Where's my cellular telephone? Oh, this looks worse. This looks worse because you can't really tell what's happening, but it's way more visceral. What a complicated way to perform oral. Listen, it's Rodimus, okay? Rodimus is like, no, I have a special way to do my thing. To do the thing. I got a special way. It makes it better. And then when you get the two Rodimuses together, the other one's like, yeah, I agree. Doesn't even know what it... Because technically, right, you could be grabbing the thighs like that, right? And now you have true Gatai, right? This is as Obari as you can get. Quick, put your head in my crotch portal. Hang on, I gotta take another picture of this. What's a tasteful angle? Just had to get a tasteful angle. He even got the wheels down here, so he's like... See, I even got his arms gripping on there, so they're able to... This is their combined vehicle mode. Welcome, Shane and Payne. The Decepticons are stealing the energy dam. Don't worry. Rodimus and Rodimus are here. Gatai! And they just show up like this, and the Decepticons are all like, no! We're leaving! Now make them scissor. I mean, that's... Isn't this the final scene from Tetsuo the Iron Man? Kind of. But you can't see his face. I believe scissoring will be very possible. Sorry, I'm just trying to... I want to make sure that the power pose is being maintained here. Yeah, very easily. Gaching! Rodimus! Power Link! Well, they don't need to use their legs, it's just for show, right? Like, they're using full-on grip strength. Roddy in the back looks like he has a mirror on his ceiling. The best part, Shane DePayne, is that is perfectly in line with how we've been describing the difference between these two, but it sounds like you weren't here for all of that. You just get the vibe. You know what we're doing. You know what we're talking about. These are all revised poses. Yeah, I believe you're right. Rodimus, drill attack! And yet, they won't hire me to do product photography. Which is screwed up. You got the taint. You got the power. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, but T-Spark is a bottom. True. This is the one. He's hang on. Where's his phone? Where'd I put his phone? Hang on. I gotta give him his phone back. How did he get his dang phone into his hand last time? It just nestled in there. Now it's like all wiggly-diggly. Oh, there we go. Okay. So yeah, he's just taking selfies and whatnot. Yeah, lazy boy. Yeah, he's like, hey baby, yeah, you like getting? I like chilling. Hang on, where's my? Here we go. I just like chilling. Yeah, you wanna? You can go out of my place. And you get there, right? And then it's like, all right, I'm ready. And he's like, no, babe, I'm gonna. And then he wakes up like 8 hours later going like, so was it good for you, baby? And he's like vlogging the whole time. They're afraid your photos would double the pre-order and they're at max capacity. That's fair. I gotta get the friggin' vlogger pose going. I will say, someone mentioned Wotofa said his face was handsome. I kind of agree. He's got some Bravern going on. The most disgusting voice you've ever done. I got it from. I was watching a streamer reacting to one of those stupid white studio like intensely cynical speed dating shows. And one of the guys in that show had that voice, and the streamer was just laying into the voice, and I was like, this is a caricature, and this is very funny, and I want to steal this voice from my own catalog. It's like these dudes who, like, how do you describe it? It's like, it's not just they go, but it's like when they start talking, when you're like, so do you have any interests or hobbies? And they're like, it's like going out of party to get free. I don't do that. And like that's like their entire answer, right? And you're like, what did you say? What did you just say? What were those? Yeah, they ooze. Yeah. I am the second coming of Uber Duck. It's me. I am the organic Uber Duck. It's also a problem. I knew a guy who talked like that unironically. Yeah, because at first, I was kind of like, is this a bit? But then, like, you hear enough of them, and you're like, this is... I didn't see the captions. You hear enough of them, and you're like, that's a personality type. That's a personality type. Kind of guy who likes Christopher Nolan movies but doesn't like to get too political. Yeah. So, what are your politics like? Oh, baby, I just get playing. I just like to go get chill time, baby. I love everybody, but, you know, I love everybody. Anyway, I got a personal guru. My guru tell me everything I gotta do, baby. And then he's got, like, Andrew Tate running on, like, autoplay on his phone. Sounds like a chill Looney Tunes Tasmanian Devil. Friggin' stoner Taz. I don't know. Some of the, it's just, sometimes you see the personality types, especially the ones who would end up on those kind of shows, I guess, to be slightly judgmental, and makes me feel better about myself. Kind of guy who watches The Dark Knight and loves all the characters that were whitewashed. That's so fun. The guy I knew talked like that, and as soon as he got a girlfriend, he's like, guys, my girl wants to hang, and I haven't heard from him in years. That's ideally he got consumed physically for his nutrients. That's mean. I wish no ill. I'm talking about the cartoon character version that we're focused on here. Superhero landing. Can I do a superhero landing? Hey baby, I've been thinking of getting into crypto. I got a friend. He makes $500,000 a day off this. I'm gonna get a meme coin myself. Have you seen my fantasy football team? This is what the balls sound like to me. Tom Bob, blockchain crypto is a Cybertronian STD. True. Yeah, I think superhero landing is still possible. You gotta guss around a little bit with the backmost leg to kind of more make the impression of the double knee. But because the ankles are so all-encompassing, you can also forward arc the front leg to compensate. And so yeah, this is a working superhero landing. Adamas would say he's a liberal but vote conservative. Would you like to see them make more of these? Yeah. Under this line, they've got a Liger Zero coming out, and then a Predaking coming out. The Predaking is not the same scale, and it's not a Flame Toys collab as far as I can tell. The Predaking, going by the gray protos they had on display a couple of months ago, the Predaking is like 2 or 3 inches taller than this. So the little Predacons are going to be like that big, like ish, with a big razor claw. But if it's built like this, and if it has as inventive a transformation, then I'm very interested. Xenix the Killer Viking from Has Been Hotel. You want to see a transformation? I was about to say. I'm going to put this guy back to Karma. Peter Griffin Death Pose. That's easy. Is it screwed up that Peter Griffin Death Pose has become, like, part of the lexicon? Because, like, I'm not going to get it right, but you know what I'm doing as soon as I've got the back-hanging arm, right? And, like, something odd about that. It's like a less wholesome Yamcha death pose. Yeah, Sideswipe Prime, you gotta go find the photos. I forgot where they are, but the only gray proto photos of that Predaking that are in a show floor They have him standing right next to a gray proto, I think, or a color proto of this, or color test shot of this. Now I said Yamcha death pose. I'm gonna get this one wrong too. I mean, I don't think it's hard to do a Yamcha because it's mostly like, can you do the one arm forward, right? He's not going to be as tightly curled up as a Yamcha because he's got no clothes on, but it's kind of, you have to get the right angle, right? And imagine a crater. Do a T-pose. Is that on brand? Because it's T-Spark? Oh. Yeah, baby, I got a podcast. It's me and the bros, we like to just talk about life and stuff, you know? To me, it's less about the words, and it's more about, like, that slope, right? Because it's always like, and it's like, it's always that kind of, like, that wave shape, right? Anyway, he can. The Predacons are in scale with this Rodimus. They're his illegal exotic pets that he owns. Yeah, they're his friggin' whatever the Instagram pets are. The highly questionable Instagram pets. Do him versus Devastator fighting. You're gonna start needing to use the theater of the mind for some of that. You got a good look at his head. I'd have to go in and do the manual focus again. Alright, I'm gonna see if I can, like, just do this. Because now I know the motions that things work in. Now pose him doing his taxes and getting his life together. That's not canon. And now we need a gaggle of women he paid to pretend to be his girlfriends to complete the podcaster personality. Yeah, we need a bunch of microphones that are not hooked up to anything. Can you do it blindfolded? I mean, I'll just say no. I'll say I can't. I will concede that one to the greater good. That'll just be outside my wheelhouse. How do I untab his little gut? Okay, it's this whole thing, right? There we go. I want to make sure after he had the wrapping on his head, I want to protect his face a little bit. Xenix, you should slow down. You're posting in triplicate, which is precisely 50% worse than posting in duplicate. Paper Joe, I'm here to spread awareness of the loss of Peter. I mean, do we know Peter was lost? Like, I've been thinking about that for a while. I've been thinking about that for at least 1 hour and 46 minutes and 11 seconds. Do an unboxing of the star stickers. I will need you to buy them for me first, because I don't have them. But no, Peter, I mean, granted, it's likely Peter simply perished. For those who don't know, fellow streamer Zilch Zero recently shared at some point in modern history the loss of her hamster Peter. If I were to paraphrase the story, I don't have to paraphrase the story. Hey, I don't have to paraphrase the story. Hang on a second. You only need the audio. This is easy. Because I'm the one who clipped it. Where are my clips? Here we go.
Y'all want to hear my hamster death story?
Oh boy, yeah.
Uh-oh.
I don't know what exactly happened. He was just on a shelf, and then like the next, he was on a shelf in his cage. His cage was up on a shelf, and then like the next day, I go to get the cage down, and he's just a skeleton. I'm not even joking.
Just in case you missed some of that, I'll
Y'all
play
want
it one more
to
time.
hear my hamster death story?
Oh boy, yeah.
Uh-oh.
I don't know what exactly happened. He was just on a shelf, and then like the next, he was on a shelf in his cage. His cage was up on a shelf, and then like the next day, I go to get the cage down, and he's just a skeleton. I'm not even joking. There was not a single bit of flesh on his body. I genuinely, to this day,
That
do not
motherfucker
know
got
what
ash
happened.
babied. Oh my god.
I genuinely, to this day,
My comment is that he despawned.
do not know what happened. He was just a skeleton.
I like to imagine he's sitting there in the night, he feels something, he's like,
Yeah, I was like, the first thing I thought of was, you know that meme video of Baby Luigi disappearing, and that noise Baby Luigi makes when Baby Luigi disappears. It's just that. So the hamster's just sitting there being a hamster, and then like and then like the bones just collapse. Hey, who turned out the lights? Anyway, that's the Peters. That's what happened to Peter. That's for context. That's what happened to Peter. For those who are wondering. When you sneak out of the house and put the skeleton in your bed so it looks like you're asleep. I'll link the clip for reference. Let me get the URL so y'all can check out that and the stream later. So there you go. But anyway, I was thinking about Peter a little bit. And yeah, what was it? Oh, I lost my train of thought now. But yeah, how do we know Peter's dead? Right. What if Peter molted? But like in reverse. Think about it. Like, what if Peter just inverse malted? And obviously have an open mind, right? When you think about this, for the fantastical and the unknown. You know, we're this is paranormal stuff that we're talking about. Wouldn't that just be absorbing, man? Okay, so PT, one of the theories that came up during that stream was, what if Peter just died, but kind of horribly? Because also for context, the speaker was like 5 years old at the time. Zilch was, I believe she said 5 years old, or 4 or 5 years old at the time, or 6 or 7, some single digit. They're all the same. And so perhaps Peter was like gorifically ended. And so the parents went to a hamster skeleton store to get a hamster skeleton so they could just put that there instead and say, you know, in the morning when it's like, what happened to Peter? Where's my hamster? Then they could be all like, what happened? A skeleton, you say? Oh, well, heck and shucks. I guess we'll never know. PKP's biologist here to say the molting hypothesis is absolutely the most plausible. Ignore that my area of expertise is in reptiles and not mammals. Trent Salamander. Hamster skeleton stores tend to close early, though. I don't think they'd be able to purchase one that late at night. I mean, who knows when, you know, some kids sleep in. If you're right, I guess it's better than saying it ran away, I guess. Yeah. Instead, it turned into a skeleton. Peter turned into a skeleton. It can happen to any... You know what's messed up? We all contain one heated, wet skeleton. Like, whatever happened to Peter, you know, it's not as messed up as what happened to us. Lee Calb, I missed the part where this was a hamster. The human I keep in a cage turned into a skeleton. They still wanted to teach her about death at an early age, but not let her see it crushed by its own water bottle. Yeah, yeah. You gotta lube up your bones. Very true. JCC, what's up? Happy I can tune in as soon as we're talking about heated, wet skeletons. Well, the thing that's messed up, right, is that you contain precisely one of those. Isn't that messed up? Isn't that weird? We were on Peter Griffin death pose, and I had to leave. When I came back, you were talking about if Peter molted. Oh. Yeah, it's... I mean, that would be a bit to digest. I don't disagree. I need to free him. Skeleton! Skeleton, I'll save you! PSA. PSA. Do not attempt to free the skeleton. The skeleton is... No, I gotta... Oh, I can't do that voice. You know the creepypasta voice where they're all doing the friggin' analog horror thing? Like, do not attempt to free the skeleton. The skeleton will make eye contact. Do not make eye contact with the skeleton. You have made eye contact with the skeleton. You have made eye contact with the skeleton. You have made eye contact with the skeleton. And it's like someone in a rubber mask with their mouth like that's 4 times longer going like, yeah, you know. You know what I'm talking about. It's the whole, like, the entity is in the room, the entity is in the room, the entity is in the room. I am genuinely trying to remember the order of operations on these legs, so I'm just glancing back, and I am completely lost as to what you are all talking about, so I do apologize. What up, Chris Carnage? Jarvis, check the hamster skeleton store hours. I have a child's life to lube. A child's life to lube up? What the hell? A child's life to shatter? I am crossing 2 streams. That ain't good. My favorite Jarvis bits are still infantilizing Tony Stark. Like, that just makes me happy. You got your classics. You got your Jarvis read me a bedtime story. You got your you know, Jarvis, can you give voice? Can you sing along with my finger puppets? Jarvis, can you pat my back and help me go burpee? See, I had to move the waist crunch back to make room for the hip. That was my problem. Obviously. It's even funny with comic Jarvis, who is just a human man. Yeah, I like that one too. Jarvis, when does my hamster come back from the magic forest? You know what's been doing a great job infantilizing Tony Stark? The greatest comic going on right now. Denise Camp's The Ultimates. Ad read asked. But also I love it. I haven't read it. I don't know anything about the but I like a good ad read ass posting. It just makes my heart sing a little bit. Jarvis, I'm low on karma. Generate silk post. Jarvis, why am I adopted? I almost went a little... I just have to watch a little bit. I have to watch a little bit. A slight predilection towards a slight couple of genres of slightly a little bit darkish humor. I'm like... When we get into the combination of infantilized Tony Stark, right, who is incredibly rich and therefore worthy of some ridicule, right, and then says in an infantilized way, Jarvis, why am I adopted? Then I want to go into the RDJ voice in the RDJ candor saying the baby-like thing of Jarvis, what did I do to make my parents hate me to make me adopted? But that's just a little bit too dark, so I don't know, I'm not going through with it. Whereas, yeah, we can just have a good old wholesome Jarvis, can I get uppies? Like, that's just, you know, that's nice stuff. Jarvis, why does my bum stink? Yeah, you know, just good wholesome times. None of this edgelord nonsense that my brain has been perverted with. Thanks for walking us through your process. You're welcome. That's what the listen, you paid for this masterclass, and I want to make sure you get your money's worth. Edgelord as edgy or Edgelord as edging? Yeah. Alright, when I unpinched this, what was it pinching? I see, okay, it was pinching... Oh, wait, I gotta scoonch in the wings again. How did I scoonch these the first time? There we go. I'm doing this. Ah, that's just satisfying. Where are them holes at? There we go. I'm going to read Absolute Batman, mother. Mimicry, hello. Is the initial impression good? Yeah, I think this thing's pretty dang cool. It has some incredibly interesting transformation steps. And the hand feel is pretty darn good. Which was my biggest worry, because, like, it seems like the easiest example is high-end Bandai, because they used to be the benchmark. High-end Bandai, it sounds like their hand feel has been, in stuff like Soul of Chogokin and etc., has been, like, suboptimal of late, and I wasn't sure, like, how a Takara Tomy high-end thing would turn out in a context like that. Oh, right, I gotta do the cool thing with the shoulders. Check this out. I say as I then don't know what to do. Check this out. Falls down the staircase. Yeah, that bit's cool. That bit's cool. I knocked my model off the... No. But yeah, the way the shoulder pauldrons come together is sick. Because it's just like perfect geometry that like sucks itself together. And the same thing for these, excuse me, for these wheel halves. You see the red L bracket they're on? It just fits into a channel shaped exactly like them to form the back plate. And it's just like smooth back there. This is the bit I was worried about, but getting the wheel back together seems to be pretty darn easy. And now it's freewheeling again. So this wheel is made of two pieces that are on an axle on this side and an axle on this side, but they freewheel, so it works. Yeah, this is Calidus from Mastermind Creations. This transforms as well. Just coming in, how much of this stream was just transforming? Not too much. Actually, Liz, a lot of this stream was... here, I got a photo still. I got to post these, but I'll give you a preview. A lot of this stream was, like, doing very good photography. You know, like, just figuring out how they work. No, Calidus is into it. Don't worry. No poor Calidus. Calidus is like, if there's one thing that IDW style Rodimais have been waiting for a long time, it's more of them, so that they can just, you know, be their perfect mate. Bravern core stream. Not bad. Not bad. Yep, you got it. Calidus. I don't have the SXS one. It cost too much whenever I saw it, because I kept up with how it worked, and I was like, this thing doesn't really do things I like, so I don't really want to like spend human money on it. So that's freaking cool. Like, this is part of the pauldron, and this piece ends up on this piece by the end. Like, that's some cool design. Something we didn't look at was putting the accessories on, by the way. So they got these, like, big holes here, so as you can stick the guns in. And you can, like, plop this little thingy up here. I think there's a spot... It said in the instructions there was a spot for the phone, too. Hell yeah, Adamas got holes. Plenty of. Oh, okay. So this will use this spot. And then the phone goes up here where I had put the saw blade in robot mode. So here's with all your bits. And then for those who didn't see, this is a feature, and I don't know why, because there's no reason to do this, but... Yeah, where is it? This piece hinges up so you can take the saw blade out. You know? Because you can. It's in the instructions even. I don't really get why, but... There you go. Maybe they had like a bonus blue saw blade or something, and I just didn't understand that exists. But yeah, there you go. This is... Y'all remember this classic sequence from the comic books? When he put his cell phone up top so he could film himself driving into battle? It's, Yeah, maybe they were going to have, like, a different blade option or something to go in there. Oh, by the way, for those who haven't seen, also the weapons transform a bit. I didn't really do a roll check, but this desk, it's the wrong material to test hard plastic rolling wheels, but it's kind of working. Anyway, you take the back gun and you pull its little wings out, and you extend its little thingamy, right? And you take this one and you brace it, and you take the tip, you ram it into its bespoke little slot, and then and then you pull the rest of the tip out so it's full base, and then this goes and that kind of clicks in a bit, and now you got the photon eliminator. Vanji, won us. Do you mess with Taco Bell or nah? Kinda nah. I'm not a Taco Bell person. If I'm like at, like TFCon LA or something, and it's where everyone's going, I'll come along, but I'm not much of a Taco Bell person. I've been spoiled by the presence of too much real Mexican food. Taco Bell is always the most... It's exciting, and it's kind of fun, but, like, the best parts of Taco Bell are looking at the menu and unwrapping the food, but then when I'm actually, like, biting into it, I'm kind of like, this isn't as cool. Gabatura, the duck tacos are gone! They were only there that 1 year, as far as I know. Yeah, like, Taco Bell is depression food, it makes sense. I mean, and if you have... So where I am, there are no nearby Taco Bells, so it's not even like, I guess I'll just go to Taco Bell. So it doesn't even occupy a depression food slot for me. Which I guess is just like, it means I'm fortunate in that I'm not tempted. But there's like a McD's right by me, and I have at times gotten back home from a thing at like, 11:30 midnight, and I'm hungry, and I'm like, I'll get out of the subway, and I'm like, maybe I'll just go get some of this lousy garbage, and then I'll get some of it because the french fries are full of narcotics. Yeah, there's a Del Taco by TFCon LA. I've been to the Del Taco. But everyone who likes Del Taco told me, like, you do not say Del Taco in the same breath as Taco Bell, and I'm like, alright. I respect you. The saw blade opens... That's hilarious. So you can take it off, flip it around, and put it on the other hand with the blades going... Because you see the blades, right? That's so stupid. I love it. Okay, so if it's on this hand, the blades are going the right way. And if you put it on the other hand, it'll be like this. You'd be like, oh no, the blades are going the wrong way. And so you're like, don't worry, I'll fix it. Now the blades are going the right... That's so stupid. That's so stupid. I love it. Looked up. It was oh man, that must be what. Okay, that must be what it says in here then, because there's like a little bit of text here, but none of it is space words, so there's no katakana. It just says seto down there, which is set. That's hilarious. For the one person who will, like, not unsee this and also want to put it on the other hand. Del Taco's more of an event, a whole other league. Ransom Fern, I went to check if the Kurokarikuri, or the Karakuri saw blade could do anything more, and found it didn't come with the saw at all. Oof! I kind of want to transform this one more time. I know I've been going for a bit, but I want to do one more cycle just to kind of get used to it, because it's fun. Mimicry, it would bother me if I wanted it on the other hand. This feature is for me. Yeah, no, this... Like, number one, I think it's amazing that the free spin works when it is just on, like, a peg. Because usually they, for whatever reason, I'm guessing just, like, slickness, this is usually something that's, like, riveted in. But no, I totally get it. Like, I think it's very thoughtful that they're like, wait a second, that's the wrong way. This is making me so excited and so scared for their predicting now. Yeah, I know. I'll do the transformation one more time since a bunch of you weren't here, and you should see how the legs do stuff, because it's very interesting. And I also want to see if I have already remembered the transformation or not. Oh, I had not even tabbed in some of the stuff back here. I was so giddy about whatever we were talking about. Does the peg itself rotate? No. You just take the saw blade out. I'll show you. You just take the saw blade out and flip it. Or do you mean that the way this attaches to the hand? Because this actually goes on the mushroom peg that the wrist is on. So these rotate. I didn't even notice this before. These are very much... These things here are hugely designed simply to get out of the way of everything you're doing. Like, this rotation, I don't think this serves any purpose for the transformation. It's just so that they get out of the way. That's kind of cool. So there I've split the wheel in half. Oh, the peg might be riveted for the free spin. No, I'll take a look. I think it's just the dimensions are right. Yeah, the peg just has an air hole on it. Where was I? This part is just so cool, because this is all double hinging over, but then as soon as this part covers this back bit, as soon as you get that lined up, it like aligns the entire set of hinges, so you just gotta go like bop, and then that closes. Yeah, he's got trap wheels. They don't lock together. The one thing that would have been really cool is if the two little pegs here had receiving holes, so the wheels could actually peg together. So they do wiggle a bit when he's all done. I also really am curious how I suspect it's going to maybe be a thing that the face gets a bit scratched up from the transformation, but I have no reason to think that other than there's parts sitting on it. But it might be cut so that they're sitting on unpainted parts, like his cresty stuff. It might be easier to... No, I'm gonna still follow the instruction order. Right. So it's really hard to describe what I'm about to do. So I'm gonna try to show you. Is you pull this bit out. And so you can see I've slid this bit out, right? But then there's an inner bit here that I'm sliding back in, which I can then use to unfurl the leg, right? And then there is a bit here attached to the knee joint that folds in to fill in the back of the thigh, and you slide that back in to finish the leg, or the thigh. Did that make sense? Do y'all kind of see what I'm talking about? That's probably one of the weirdest things this toy does, but in like a neat way. And then this bit, there's the hingy part. And there's like the leg. And then we gotta slide his literal ass down. This is probably the worst part of the transformation, just because, like, I don't really know what I did. I'm gonna move this backpack stuff out of the way first. So you gotta do Rodimus motions. What was it? Rodimus motion number... Where? How did I do it? Rodimus motion number 1. No, you gotta move the ass first. There we go. There we go. So that slid the ass down. And then you got room to go Rodimus motion number 1, and then Rodimus motion... Oh yeah, pull up here. Rodimus motion number 2. Peg that in. You double hinge the winglets out. Clunk that together. Then Rodimus motion number 3. You get his little svelte abolets into place. So you see there's like 3 separate pieces here. But all you really gotta do is get the svelte abolets into place. And then it's like, what do we do about the boob? Is this extended out on this die-cast cylinder? And so now when you push it back in, it hinges back in and becomes the boob. And then these things just double hinge over to lock onto the forearm position. And you're done! And I'll show you the really freaking cool part we discovered, like, what, like 40 minutes into messing with this? Because it's one of the very last things in the instructions. Like, oh, by the way, because there's like a waist crunch, right? At the very bottom here. But then there's an ab joint too. You have to extend that, and then it will use... Let me T-pose this arm out. It'll use some of the transformation hinges to give him a mid-ab crunch as well. So that this thing is, like, hinging with it. And you get a little bit of that Flame Toys Kudo Katakuri interlink stuff going on. Just a little bit. And then you can, like, relock that articulation by pushing that back in. Which I think is pretty dang neat. Oh, he has just a big, I think that's a 5mm hole right on his literal anus. Because there's a thing at the back of the instructions where they're like, if you have a stand with plug sticks in hole. And it's like, alright, I don't have a stand with plug here. Nothing from Sentinel, like, hidden detail? No, well, there is kind of, because when you look in here, he's got these, like, chrome orange things inside his shoulders, and you don't see them in either mode. They're on the bottom of the car mode, kind of. So those are kind of like a revealed detail. But the knee is just a very good single hinge knee with a cover that can cover up. So you kind of have the linkage thing where that little silver cover, you know, can cover up as you go up, but you have to manually close it again. And there's sort of like linkage revealed hingery in there. But because of, as you all saw, right? Because this hunk here folds back into here, there's no like double joint linkage stuff because it's already busy doing all that stuff. Who has a 5mm peg stand? I think it's... there's a picture. But it's extremely small. Yeah, it says 5mm. It just shows this. It says 10... Oh, no way. It says 10 seg base. It says 10 seg base. It says stando and balance. So it just says figua stando 5mm there, but then it actually says 10 seg base down here. So I don't know if that's, maybe it's saying don't use him with the 10 seg base, maybe. But it looks like a Figma stand or something that they have him on. Oh, take it easy, Sideswipe Prime. I think the 10 seg base did get sold solo. But yeah, the way that we did the gattai was fully engaging the crunch. And then the knee hinge has the... you can fold it forward just a little bit to have the dynamic S-curve, which I think is kind of cool. And so, you know, you get him into position. The standing base in this figure, by the way, because the feet are on such good ankle joints in multi-axes, and they're just a big flat thing on the bottom, which also might have a 5mm port on the bottom, so maybe you can give this guy... Yeah, try something in a sec. Anyway, get him in position. Also, the wings can fold back a little bit, so that's kind of neat. And then you take your Calidus, And there's just enough room for him to grab on. And you gotta, yeah, thank you, Eve Trony. You gotta deploy the claspers. And now they're like, Gattai! And then you still have the wheels on the sides here, so now they're like, time to stop the Decepticons. You know? Pew, pew, pew. It's pretty good stuff. It's good play. I know I got one sitting somewhere in my mess here. Where is it? Aha! Okay. What parts of this were boots again, and how did it work? Are these the boot parts? No, not those. Oh, with the ramp out. Aha! Thank you. Let's put this little sign back on him. Okay, moment of truth. These are 5 mil. Hang on. No, dang it. What is getting in the way? What is getting in the way? Evo Fusion! DNA Designs Adamas Gatai $100 prototype here. Butt arm. Thank you. Thank you. Is this toy a good Earthrise Sunstreaker? Kind of. Kind of. It's got qualities. Oh, this is the worst peg to be trying to do this with. Okay, here we go. So now he has a tail. So for everyone who was ever like, you know what IDW Rodimus was missing was a swishy tail. Well, now he's got one. I absolutely don't remember how all of this toy works. Twink Evo Fusion. Yeah, if you have a 5mm animal tail, then yes, Adamas Machina Rodimus can be a furry. A fury. No Rodimus can hang with the Furies, but... I'm trying to think if I have anything socketed that I can... These are all pegged! I've already fully pegged my Rodimus. There we go. Thagamizer Rodimus, yeah. Yeah, there's his rearward ladle so he can catch all of his poop and hurl it at his foes. There's Super Jinrai Rodimus. I don't think... I'm sorry, I just had a thought, but I don't think that... Yeah, this is not 5mm in any way, shape, or form. But can it become 5mm? No, he has no grip strength. Okay. So he has 3 5mm ports. So you can only add on to the bottom. Quote, I just had a thought, but I don't think. Correct. I'm an extant life form. Alright, well, let me say this. I was genuinely worried that Adamas Machina Rodimus was going to feel ambitious and beyond the scope of its manufacturing abilities. However, this toy feels pretty friggin' good. Granted, bear in mind, this is the first 2.5 hours I have messed with it. So, you know, it's still anyone's ball game, but the very initial impressions are pretty solid. It's feeling like it could be pretty okay. Are you getting the new MMC Drift? I would like to, but I need to prioritize I need to prioritize the all built-in blades, because that is more so my jam. So, like, if I have to pick between the two, it's going to be blades first. But the new Drift does look really cool. Yeah, JCC, it's pricey, but I'm feeling like, oh, that was the big question, is like, will it have the hand feel of Diaclone Reboot? To be seen, I guess, but like, it definitely is starting to, whoa, his tail. It definitely is starting to give me that vibe. This might have a touch of Diaclone Reboot to it. Can the exhaust pipes rotate around the forearms? No, I'll show you the assembly. They're double hinged here, so there's no, like, spot for a rotator. Yeah, Diaclone Reboot generally, especially if it's from the last couple years, like Tactical Mover, they feel pretty good. They're basically very limited run, high production value pieces. They are just like full of parts. Every inch of a Diaclone Reboot piece does stuff. They're just like small and packed with function. That may not be your thing, but the whole project is a passion project internally. It has like one lead, basically. They seem to just do small production runs that have fairly good QC, if not very good QC. It's like a sort of like a cross between like a Sentinel, but being done at Takara Tomy. So this thing, like, obviously the shapes are different, so it doesn't feel the same as Diaclone Reboot. However, at the only point where I felt a little bit worried about, you know, like, bits is just these little things. That's it. Otherwise, the major motions of the transformation were all treating me quite well. Just seeing if there's any indication they might have thought of doing a switchable face. I don't think so, though. So yeah, for something that is like hanging in the realm of masterpiece, I'm feeling it. I gotta run him through a few more transformations to see if like it keeps feeling as good as it does. I am absolutely tickled that he has 3 5mm ports. Like, that's kind of friggin' awesome. The Kuro Karakuri, there's some side-by-sides. It's, I think, like about a head taller. But yeah, if this is... The only thing I don't know about Adamas Machina is, like, does that mean that is the team that is doing these? Because if that's the case, then I am super interested in the Adamas Machina Predaking. But Takara Tomy launched, like, 14 different brand names all at the same time. So T-Spark seems to be the catch-all of anything expensive Takara Tomy makes. And then Adamas Machina... I still don't entirely understand what the mission statement is, other than it seems to be brand cross-collabs, because this is Takara Tomy Cross Flame Toys. The next one is Takara Tomy Cross, like, Zoids, which I don't think is really a cross-branding. But then, there is also Toy Rise, which is doing King X Kaiser and Genesis Gaogaigar. But Toy Rise seems to be going for more of a, let's take guys who are usually done in high-end, but do them as very high-budget ceiling mainline Transformer-style toys. Like the King X Kaiser and the Genesis Gaogaigar seem to be going for that, which is a different line than this. So, just to shove more words into your brains. So, T-Spark is not a line. T-Spark is a high-end branding that contains Adamas Machina, I think Toy Rise, Masterpiece G, and Diaclone Reboot. Those all have T-Spark branding. I don't remember what the non-Genesis Gaogaigar is under. I think it's Toy Rise. So this is a very Flame Toys ass moment again, where it's like people are like, I like the Flame Toys optimist, and it's like, okay, so when you say flame toys, and this is a problem with their whenever people cover their like show floor booths, it's like they have several lines. They have Furai model, they have Furai action. Those are model kits, which are sort of in the Kotobukiya more than Gundam price range. Apparently they are not quite as fun as Gunpla, but I don't really know that stuff that well. You have Furai action, which are more pricey because they are built and painted versions of Furai model kits, and then you jump exponentially to the $300, $400 level with the Kuro Karakuri line, which this is mimicking aesthetically. Kuro Karakuri is Transformers characters done by the Gundam Metal Build team at Sentinel, the chemical action team at Sentinel. So they have all the linkage, articulation, electronics, tons and tons of stuff, very densely packed engineering, etc. So that's how those words work with flame toys, is Furai action, Furai model, and Kuro Karakuri. Now, at least Takara Tomies are easier to say. But there was a good hot week where T-Spark sounded like the name of a line. So we need to now unteach T-Spark being the name of a line, and it might even be worth just unteaching T-Spark mostly, because it just means expensive. There's no unifying theme to T-Spark, it's just their fancy stuff. Oh no, you can abbreviate Kuro Karakuri. It's 3K. That's the way to abbreviate it. That wasn't mine, but someone else did it, and I was like, thank you. Because I didn't know how to abbreviate that. And that was enough letters that I did kind of... That was 12 letters, so I did kind of want to abbreviate it. 12 letters with 2 character breaks. So it's 3K is the best way to do that. Anyway, I was rambling a whole lot there. Oh yeah, sorry, Synergenex. Synergenex, I believe, is also T-Spark, because Synergenex was debuted at the same time as T-Spark, at the same time as Toy Rise, and then like 2 minutes later they debuted Adamas Machina, and then I got extremely confused, because I didn't know what the umbrella was. Oh, how is Rodimus's knee articulation? I'm going to remove his tail. And I'm going to remove these parts. I'm going to just demo this normally. So it's a single hinge, but it goes about that deep, and then this kneecap part can just cover it, and then it kind of just auto covers it when you straighten it. And then the cool part is it straightens to about here, but you can move it a little bit more forward to get that S-curve thing going on, or you can just do that and ignore the S-curve thing. And the reason why there's no double hinge or linkage is because for the transformation, this part stores back in here. And then the top of the hip goes into the thigh. And then when you undo that, you fill in the thigh with this double-hinged hunk attached to this die-cast joint that is also the knee joint. Oh. Squeeze. There we go. Can he cross his arms? Maybe. He's got a butterfly thing. So... what I kind of like about these is that when you don't know, right, and you want to experiment with a pose and you just don't know what's going to happen, you just fold them back. And then it doesn't matter what happens with all this. Okay, you can definitely approximate it, but now you just got to figure out your favorite way of faking the Gunbuster arm cross on robot toys. So you can remove the hands intentionally. It's using a mushroom peg. The mushroom peg, by the way, wiggles, which is kind of interesting. So if you remove one of the hands so that you can say it's inside there. Wait, if I remove both hands, can I just do this? Kind of. Kind of. Someone can probably figure it out. I guess, to be fair, to use that horrible phrase, he does have a very jutting boob, which is directly getting in the way of all of this. Oh, let's try the thing with the saw blade. Okay, so I want to put it on this side this time. But oh no, the teeth are going the wrong way. And now I'm satisfied. But now I want to put it on the other hand. Oh no, the teeth are going the wrong way. Ah. Satisfaction. Oh, Adachi baby, don't worry. The hand feel was kind of the soft goal of this entire stream. So far, the hand feel is pretty dang good. It's not like tactile orgasmic, but it is not poor. And I was worried about it having like rickety or fragile hand feel, but I have been able to play with this. The only main things I'm worried about, these little double diddler things, right? Which are attached to his shifting ass back here. They feel kind of spooky. Like, I would say if you're messing with them and just doing posing, fold these back and fold these up so they're just not in the way of things. You don't have to worry about them or think about them. This is swivel? This swivel's back here. This one's just a little bit sticky. Huh. Anyway, that's one thing. The other thing is mostly an audible thing. His one ratcheting hinge, or ratcheting joint, the hip forward-backward motion. It's a little squeaky, which I don't like. However, it doesn't, like, resist. I'm not having to go, and have a big squeak. That's when I think I'd just start, like, shearing teeth off the ratchet. So I think this is fine. But it is worth, you know, paying attention to. It's the only ratchet joint on him, if I recall correctly. Yeah, I wonder what it's sticky from. Listen, everything was in the front and below. Nothing got back here, alright? Like, Roddy keeps it... Roddy... I like to keep it clean in back... I like to keep it clean back there. So not milkshake smooth. Correct. Yeah. The biggest thing I'm trying to, like, figure out how to communicate is, like, what this is hand feel wise in relation to its closest neighbor that I can think of, Diaclone Reboot. And it's hard to draw a direct comparison because all the shapes are completely different. So I don't know. However, it does feel confident. My hope was that this would be the Diaclone Reboot level of build quality spreading out to other visuals, basically. I think that might be happening. Because considering what this does for its transformation, I am happy to say the transformation doesn't really feel all that scary, except for when you have to slide his ass down or up. So yeah, it's this is the reason why A, I pre-ordered this thing, and B, why I had it sent to me as fast as possible when it came in, because I wanted to have opinions, if not a stream, if not a video about this before TFCon LA, so that there is some extra reference material. And then at TFCon LA, people can, like, just go, like, did you like it? And I can go, yeah. And then when they come to me going, like, I don't like it, then I'd be like, well, that sounds like a you problem. Ha 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 ha. And then they get me deported or something. Sorry, did someone... Chain to Pain, was it? Did you... I think I actually never answered you. I think you asked if I'm going to TFCon LA? I am planning to. I keep saying it in that way because the current state of the world makes me feel very skittish about confidently declaring that I'm going to be able to get there. But currently, I have a flight booked, and I have a hotel room reserved, and I have panels submitted that have been accepted. So, I should be there in LA. I should be. Yeah, I do have opinions on toys, it's true. Were there Lost Light? No, the Lost Light colors was the Kuro Karakuri, sadly. So they just announced a Lost Light Dark Colors Kuro Karakuri Rodimus, who comes with like a gigantic set of upper body armor pieces that make him at a glance look like a different character almost. It's kind of cool. If it's anything like their Star Saber, it's the last one of those I got. Kuro Karakuri Star Saber has... Was it Star Saber the last one? I have the first three, so I got Drift, Tarn, and Star Saber. Anyway, Star Saber, he's IDW Star Saber, but all of the armor pieces can come off of him to make him into more of a basic Victory Star Saber. It's very cool, in my opinion. Will TF Card Gaming be happening at this TFCon LA? If, I'm assuming you're meaning. Yes. In fact, tomorrow, hopefully, I will have finished the Vox shredding I'm doing for the TransformersTCG.org people who are running things in the room, and they have a bunch of physical cards that they are having available for donation. They also have them available in a coffee shop for donation. They sent over their goodie packs in the TFCon pack, and I have a Vox shredding about that. It's all very like on par quality printed stuff. It is majority from the WotC era, but with lots of alternate art. A lot of original art on the Chibi character cards by James Otron and Snowy. And Winston Chan did the alternate art for Armed Hovercraft in one of those packs. That's all at TFCon LA, but I believe the same arrangement will be at Toronto. The Transformers Pissing Toys battle, they're not here. They're not in Canada yet. I got friggin' Light Diaclona PvP'd me, and friggin' got them, you know, I don't know what she did. She says got them off Walmart. I guess that's the name of her dealer or something from overseas. But already got a video up for the Pissing Toys, so like I've been scooped. Just friggin' like a bucket reached into my gut and just ripped my lungs out. I was like, holy moly. PvP'd. But yeah, if you haven't seen it, you should check out on the Diaclona channel the Hydropods video. It's very comprehensive. Adachi Baby, this does feel like a weirdly milestone-esque piece. If you mean this thing, yeah, this does. I haven't messed with Modern Masterpiece in a hot sec. The last ones I got were like Hound, and I know Hound is a thing. But like Hound and maybe someone else. So, my understanding is RC felt good, but Masterpiece into MPG has like gained this feedback flavor I have seen of like kind of dipping back into the 2010 era as far as like being complex, but a little bit like, you know, don't over mess with it too much. I heard Jinrai is fine. He has the funny tab problem. But aside from that, I've heard he's fine. Anyway, this feels a lot more in line with, like, a 2025 high-end toy to me. Which is that... How do I put this? It feels good right now, on day one. I think this feels better than the Soul of Chogokin Megazord. And, from what I've ascertained, Soul of Chogokin's hand feel quality has kind of dipped. If not out of the box, in the midterm after out of the box. I'm trying to think of how to like arrange my thoughts, because a lot of the high-end toys I used to rely on as benchmarks have all shifted around. Like, I used to say, oh, SH Figuart's the pinnacle of the 6-inch action figure, and like, not anymore. Nowhere the hell near anymore, in my opinion. There are good SH Figuarts, but you can't just say SH Figuarts and mean great toys anymore. It's not been like that for a while, sadly. Take it easy, Evetronia. Yeah, I want to mess with Pose Plus. I feel like I have a piece of knowledge missing from my brain, because I don't know what Pose Plus feels like. But yeah, I've gone on about this a bit in the Discord, but like, I feel like Bandai of Japan, and this is completely hypothesis, right? So like, I don't know anything. I'm just guessing. But like, I feel like Bandai of Japan are suffering from the manufacturing and distro catastrophe that is ongoing since 2020, but I feel like Bandai of Japan, especially in their high-end area, reacted by simply saying, well, if we just pretend everything's fine, then we'll just pretend everything's fine. Is the way I have felt about their stuff. And the reports I've heard about their stuff, the reports I've heard about their Soul of Chogokin pieces still being impressive for the most part, but just no longer... Like, you used to be able to buy a Soul of Chogokin, and it was pinnacle high-end robot toy. You could expect to not have to worry about things that nowadays you have to worry about. And yeah, like, I looked into Soul of Chogokin Choryujin, and I was like, I don't think I want it. Because I don't think it, like... How do I put this? To me, it doesn't look like an inherently poor figure. It just looks like it is specifically uninteresting to me in ways I did not anticipate it being uninteresting. And then, Boulder, you mentioned, like, hearing that it is getting a bit slammed in the feedback is like a friggin' bummer, because that shouldn't be the case, basically. But the me that's saying that is me from the mid-late 2010s. That's getting on a decade ago, so, like, you know, things change. But yeah, Sky Seiyu Post Plus Gagaga was your figure of the year last year. I've heard just great stuff about that thing. A lot of the Post Plus pieces I've heard. I have yet to hear, like, about, you know, oh, this Post Plus is so bad that it made me take a diarrhea dump in its ear, sort of thing. Yeah, oh my god, I'm on fire. For me, the weird parts forming stuff is just what made me not interested. But what I am inferring is it sounds like it also just don't feel all that great. More like pose minus. I'm just trying to see. Sorry, Trans Drummer, I missed that. Are you going to be at TFCon Chicago? I would really like to be. I'm hoping I can, because I can fly to Chicago from the downtown airport here. I am just like, how do I put it? I don't know what the world looks like in October with relation to traveling to America from Canada. So, I feel weird just saying, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna make it. It's more, I would really like to. It's already gonna be, like, I'd have to, you know, I have to rearrange things to afford the hotel and the flight, which I think is feasible. I'm just a little bit, like, concerned about what it would be like to get there. And it is, like, one of the shortest legs of a journey I could do, which is helpful. It's not even really like like, you know, oh my god, they elected the guy. It's just, you know what I mean. I don't want to get anyone down. It's how do I put it? I'm happy to talk about stuff. I just don't want to grab everyone and pull them into the Doom Vortex at full speed, if that makes sense. I will say, I'll repeat something I posted on Blue Sky. If you are going to TFCon LA, how do I put it in a nice way? Because people can do this, and they could mean well. They could just mean, like, hey, I'm just doing a funny bit. But I feel it's worth saying that TFCon is primarily run by Canadians. So when a TFCon happens in the States, a contingent of Canadians are going to the States to run the convention, to staff it, to put the convention on for you. So what I would recommend, and this goes to the Canadians as well, if they ever listen, I don't know if they would, do not joke about the 51st state stuff in public spaces at TFCon LA. I would highly, heartily recommend you don't. That's not me saying I'm gonna throw something at you if I hear it. It's just that I believe it is a very, and not I believe, I have seen it be a very wildly varying in severity sensitive topic for people in Canada and outside of Canada when interacting with Canadians. And I think it would be quite a vibes killer to kind of like try to, you know, pop in and go like, listen, I know no one thinks this is funny, but I'm so funny that I thought of the way for this to be hilarious. Because it's like, you didn't, so don't bother. That's my recommendation. Boulder, regards to the feedback on Shoryujin, seems like it boils down to it doesn't handle well enough to be really toyetic, but it also doesn't look impressive enough to be a display piece. Yeah, that's a bummer. Because, like, whatever you want to say about Soul of Jigoku Gaogaigar, which most people just say nice things anyway, that thing's really good at being a toy that is played with, I think, at least, unless I missed something. Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, Picky Peeves, like, there are people who will just go, like, sounds like a challenge to me, and, like, I have had those people in my life, and I'm just, that's why I'm like, listen, it's just a heartfelt recommendation. Like, all I'm saying is, why can't we tell jokes anymore? Where did this little yellow thing come from? I forgot now. Did I put this guy's arm on backwards? No. I have to look at a picture. I hate the first state jokes, however, I'm fully open to being absorbed into Ontario at this point. One thing on my bucket list, fully travel around Lake Superior. Currently, that's impossible. Yeah, it's just everything is so flippant and almost randomly flippant right now that, like, I'm simply exercising, in my opinion at least, a bit of realism about the nature of traveling to the States. I think that right now, it's fine. I don't think I'm in danger going to California. Excuse me. I'm just like, October and not California. I don't know what it'll be like, so I want to play it by ear. Someone's just gonna be like, "What's so great about California?" And it's like, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm just California has plenty of problems, yes, as many places do. As a wise Batman villain once said, politically correct culture is killing the comedy. So I have, this is the other thing, is I have friends in aeronautics whom I basically went like, hey, will I die if I fly to LA? And they told me that the math and probabilities of that have not really changed with regards to a flight I would be taking. There was the horrendously tragic crash that happened in DC, right? DC. That's still, I think, the worst one. Every other thing I've seen making the news, and I saw this discussed somewhere else in another aeronautics space, is that there's a lot more reporting happening, if that makes sense mathematically, than necessarily a lot more passenger planes crashing into each other. A lot of the reported... So, for instance, everyone obviously has... Well, not obviously. I'm sure a lot of people heard about the plane flipping upside down. So, that was in my city, for one. And for two, they were landing during the worst leg of our polar vortex storm, the day after the airport had been closed for a day. Then they opened. And what happened in that case was, as they were landing, a massive wind basically knocked the wingtip down enough to smack into the floor, which made the wing, thankfully, detach, but the whole plane flip over. So the plane flipping upside down was a horrible coincidence, more so than anything relating to the current state of things. The plane that went down like a fireball into the middle of Philadelphia, this sounds really, really ugly to say, but it was a horrible, horrible coincidence of timing, because my understanding, as I was told, is that those medical taxi planes are repurposed private Learjets that apparently don't control very well. And that plane went down as a fireball, and amongst the debris were oxygen tanks, so I was told it's not unremarkable to infer that perhaps there was simply an accident involving oxygen tanks in the air, again, with horrible timing, notwithstanding the inherent tragedy of what occurred there. And then there was a recent thing that happened where there was a near miss apparently the near miss was primarily on the part of a small executive, I don't think Lear necessarily, but small executive aircraft, which apparently are already classically piloted very arrogantly because they are owned by super rich people. So the hypothesis I had is like maybe right now super rich people are just really cocksure in their stupid little airplanes and are just not listening, perhaps. But I was basically told, like, right now, mathematically, it's still safer to fly than it is to drive that long distance. So once again, my whole thing with TFCon Chicago is I'm just like, I don't know what October looks like. And so I need to see what that looks like. In LA, we're not going to film the podcast as an event, but since me and Aaron and TJ and Bees are all going to be there together for the first time in the same place, all of us being together, we are going to record an episode. It's probably just going to be on the Sunday after the show finishes, just like a quickie. I already told them, like, we should cap it at 45 to 60 minutes tops, and that's just speaking from my and Aaron's experience of trying to do podcast things at many BotCons and TFCons, and we kind of figured out that everyone gets kind of bummed out if we're sitting in a room recording more than an hour when everyone is meeting up and hanging out. So I try to, like, keep it just to, like, we just get some peak energy in, and then we do technically do this constantly, at least once a month or so, if not multiple times a month. So there's no reason to do, like, a 3-hour thing out there. But we are going to try to record something. Yeah, TJ is probably going to be there. I assume he said he was. I don't know if I've spoiled something. Don't tell anybody. While I was rambling, what did I miss? I missed some stuff. Not as much as I thought. Everyone was listening to me. Thank you. Or you all left. I'm not sure. Did I hear about Roberto Orsi? Yeah, I heard about that earlier today. That's messed up. I caught and inferred from some of the commentary around it that what he passed away of was related to kidney disease, and apparently that was possibly related to some personal problems that involved alcohol, which can adversely affect the. So it's just basically a sad story. Nobody should pass away like that at 51. I know there's some goofy stuff floating around about him. It just sounds like he was going down some bad pipes and he was dealing with it bad, and it sucks. I don't like it when I see people passing away, like, in their early 50s. It's not the medieval times anymore. Oh, Transformer, I didn't see that. Yeah, he felt okay making that joke because everyone survived. Yeah. No, I have a minor tinge about it. Like, thankfully, I don't have flight anxiety. People who have flight anxiety are suffering infinitely more than I am, with regards to this stuff. Oh, Mayoral Fabrication, you will be there. Hell yeah. I am gonna be, as far as I know, doing 3 panels. I'm not, like, literally, like, these are my 3 panels, but I'm gonna be participating in 3 panels. I think. When the schedule goes up, I'll know. That apparently is gonna happen at the end of the month, so I'm assuming by Monday. But if they all happen, then the panels are. I got invited to join my pals that I do the YouTube related panel with, that Ultra Primal organizes. Ultra Primal and the bunch. I basically said, like, hey, I'm happy to participate. It is my understanding that, like, I usually on that panel I try to focus on just keeping the panel moving because there's usually a bunch of people. So I'm happy that they still would like me to help out with that because I like doing panels. And for the YouTube related panel with all those other folks, I feel that I do have the ability to bring a certain skill set to keep a panel like that moving through its limited amount of time. Notwithstanding that I also have fun doing those. And then I submitted 2 panels that it sounds like are on the schedule. One of them is me and Aaron talking about going through the 2004 news dive stuff, which, since the only other time we did a panel like that was last summer in Toronto, so this is like the American version. So it'll touch on some of the 03 stuff as well. And then I submitted another Why Do We Enjoy the Toy panel. This one is called De-Stressing Collector Distress. Because I feel like focusing on the notion of making toy collecting less stressful is incredibly relevant right now. So I'm trying to put together some slides that are kind of focused on the idea of like, how do you make toy collecting an oasis amidst the world of 2025, especially if you're in America, perhaps even California. That one I'm thinking I'm gonna work TJ into it too, just because I want to, since he's there. And it sounds like TJ's traveling more. My understanding is like, I think it was like going to TwitchCon like helped kind of kickstart the gears of TJ traveling outside of Florida more, amongst other things, obviously. But I've never done a panel with TJ that I can remember, because we were only at one BotCon together once. So I didn't do panels at BotCons. But yeah, those are the three things I'm doing primarily. Don't blame me for not wanting to be in Florida right now. Yeah. Well, I mean, being able to travel in general, I'm a big proponent of traveling. It's why the state of American passports also, I think, is a super bummer, and I don't know how to help other than offering emotional support. But yeah, it should be pretty fun. I'm trying to meet up with a lot of people while I'm out there, just because, you know, I'm trying not to put it in the phrasing of like, I don't know when I'll see Americans again. But since I'm gonna be out there, I want to connect with as many people I know as possible. And since I don't have a checked bag as well, I'm kind of trying to prioritize social time, including outside of the fandom, as much as I can. It's not literally like I'm going to be running all over Burbank and Hollywood or whatever, but I have a couple of different meetings I want to try to do, and then I want to have a lot of social time at the show. So I should be findable and around. I want to get in some card gaming too. Trans drummer, I traveled to Chicago back in December for a brief break from some pretty bad life stuff. Gave me a solid 20 days of decent mental health. Yeah, whenever I go to visit my mom, like even granted, like in the last 6 months or 8 months, a lot of my visiting has been related to her unfortunate like medical stuff going on, which has a certain cloud, obviously. But even then, like when we were getting when she was out of the cancer lodge and we were hanging out at home, those visits were like very calming for my brain, even though I knew as soon as I got back here to my depression, clutter, and chaos, it would probably all fall apart. Regardless, living in the present over there I found very helpful. Smuggle Americans into Canada. They check my... I don't have a check bag for one, unfortunately, but they do check the luggage. It's you know, after the incident, they're gonna... After the incident, they always unzip mine and they give it a sniff for that human musk. It's unfair. Oh, it's your first time solo traveling? Hell yeah. Yeah, y'all have like actual train systems you can use. I'm jealous. Because in Canada we don't really have cross-country trains. Like, they exist. They're more expensive than flying. So, like, it kind of sucks. Because nobody uses them, so they're very expensive, and they're kind of like a boutique experience. My mom used it once to come to Toronto, and she was like, that was neat. I'd probably just fly next time. Yeah, obviously, barely is probably the operative word. Obviously, you can't just go like, I live in America City A. I will take the train to America City B. Like, it's got to be connected to stuff that exists. No, our trains aren't made of gold. They're old, and nobody uses them, and nobody funds them. So the only reason they exist is that they're expensive, and they kind of halfway try to pretend to be like a cruise ship experience. Oh, Sky say it's going to be your first time driving to LA. Safe travels. Drive carefully, drive defensively. Let other people be cool. That's always been my thought process. My mom taught me that. She's like, be the nerd that everyone angrily drives around. Because they're the ones who will crash, not you. Take it easy, Picky. Yeah, I mean, from your area, without saying too much, Scissors, like, you might have bus options, too. I would not say that... How do I put this? Because I've taken a lot of mega buses, I've taken a couple of Greyhounds. They're adequate. They're hideously uncomfortable. And your ass bones will feel like hell for a full day after you have been on one, so you need to book an extra day both ways. Mayoral fabrication. No, I'm not going to be 80% in the TCG room. It's because I also, because I don't have check luggage, I can't bring tons of cards. I'm just going to be popping in, get in a game or two if I can. We're going to probably be doing some card gaming outside of the TCG room, like after hours, but it might not all be Transformers. Like, we might be doing some Commander, although all my Commanders are Transformers, so whatever. Bill Moo's probably going to help me through some Star Wars Unlimited, because he made that game sound super fun, so I got some, but I haven't been able to play it yet. But he has piles, so we might be doing some after-hours Star Wars Unlimited. Lee Calba, like the asshole in the pickup. My mom hates pickup trucks. All due respect to every pickup truck. You're all the good ones. But my mom, as a defensive measure, always assumes the worst of pickup trucks and also is right most of the time. And zoom by us on the freeway during a rainstorm. 10 minutes later, we passed by where they ran off the road. Yeah, it's like... My mom just, like, she'll just go, I'm going to stay in the right lane. If they try to push me in the right lane, they are free to go around me in the left lane. I don't know why they're pushing me in the right lane, but I'm not going to go faster. And then they'll go, like, go around. The best part is when they go around, and then when a red light finally happens, she pulls up next to them in the right lane. Because they just... It didn't mean anything. They got to the red light faster. It's... Yeah. The TFCon V-Card tournament. I mean, if someone brings it... Like I said in the last stream, V-Card looks like it's very funny to play when you know that it kind of sucks. And, like, I am aware of and have watched, like, a good 25% of the VTubers who are in V-Card, so I would at least recognize a couple of names, but, yeah, I don't want to spend any money on it. But if anyone has some, and you want to slam out some V-Card, we'll be playing with Ante, since it's all your own cards. Skysayer, what's the process for photos and or signatures with you? I have no real process. I'm happy to sign anything, or take photos. My main thing is just, like, let's not, like, you know, cause trouble for anybody. Let's not, like, block lanes or, like, particularly, let's not block anyone's table. So I might say, like, hey, let's move over here, but otherwise, I'm fine for whatever. If I'm in a rush to get somewhere, thanks to Aaron, I'm getting, every 5 years, I get one iota better at trying to explain to people when I am, like, in a rush to get somewhere. So if that happens, I do apologize. I can't say, because this kind of came up last TFCon LA. How do I put this? If something happens where you think I'm mad at you, I probably am not. So don't worry about it. And if you're worried that I'm mad at you, like, feel free to reach out so I can assuage any fears you might have that, like, maybe we just had a weird interaction or something. Short of, like, crashing a panel that I'm on, or, like, going up to a Q&A mic and, like, screaming slurs, I'm probably not going to get mad at you for much of anything. So don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's all good. Oh my god, I'm on fire. So V-Card was the game where it was codified in the rules that if you lose a round, your cards go into a prize pool, that you played that round, and the loser of the entire game loses all the cards they put in the prize pool. That was turned into an optional rule about 2 days later. Yeah, and by the way, I will also put it out there. If you're thinking, like, well, I'm going to do it better than that guy crashing his panel, now that it's happened once... My brain and a whole bunch of other people's brains now have a sense memory of when that's happening. So you can't take us by surprise anymore. Nor do I have the patience for it anymore. Because now I have a better grasp of how much other people know people. So I'm less likely to assume, oh, we're all good buddies and this is I'm doing a nice thing for some kid. There's no deck size limit to... Yeah, I mean, to be fair, most games don't have a deck size limit because it was only that one game that had a a tournament gameplay affecting way to abuse the lack of a deck size limit. Yeah, crashed is too much of a word for it, to be honest. It's just a good shorthand, but we had an incident 2 years ago at the YouTube panel where lots of things all smashed together. Among other things, I thought somebody was pretty good friends with somebody else, and also I thought somebody was like a child to late teenager. So we ended up having someone who had a person standing next to them invite them on a panel who they assure the world is not their mom. And then after the panel was over, they puffed into a little wisp of smoke like a ghost, and then became an incredible nuisance, and I had them blocked within about a week of the convention ending, along with one of their hench people. It was very goofy. You might notice you have trouble typing their name in the chat. You might notice that you had to change something phonetically to even type their name in the chat. Yeah, if Yu-Gi-Oh has no mana system, I could see. Yeah, that's the one, right, where the fedora dudes with the gigantic long coffin of cards showed up. Yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh. Yeah, there's a lot of other games. I think just inherently there's no advantage to doing that outside of very niche cases. Yeah, that situation, it was mostly embarrassing for me and frustrating because my crossed wires and misremembered conversations were that the person in question was friends enough with someone else that this was like not fully out of pocket, and also I thought they were a child, and it turns out that they're in like their mid to late 20s, I think. Anyway, the child part's on me. I was maybe just making assumptions because people who got a baby face, I'm just like, oh, you must be this poor kid and their little scrappy upstart YouTube thing. Daw, isn't that cute? Then it turns out they're on the grind set, and you're like, oh, they're sweaty. That's less cute. But yeah, I guess the point I'm making is I'm happy to ante your cards in a game of V-Card. I'm not happy to ante anything that I actually own or am responsible for. Oh, it was a judge trying to prove a point. I mean, that's kind of funny. Meanwhile, Chris looks 24. I mean, ugu. I'm kawaii. Ara, ara. My problem is I was in the back where Jobby was in line for a question. People were like, oh, he should join. And I was like, he deserves to back when that thing was happening. Yeah, that's the other part that was also, I think, kind of rude on the part of, I mean, there's a lot of things rude about self-inviting onto a panel inherently, but one of the other bummer parts was that, like, the whole hullabaloo of, like, getting up on the panel and then, like, talking for 500 years about your channel when we said you have 30 seconds, is, like, Jobby didn't get to ask his friggin' question he lined up to ask because they ran out of time. Because Jobby did not show up saying, it's me, Jobby from YouTube, put me on the panel. Because as far as I recall, he didn't really know any of us that well. And then after that, he got to know more people better. And like that's the whole thing about a fan-submitted panel, is like there's no formal process. Like that's sort of one of the bummers about trying to just do a panel with some friends who do YouTube stuff, is that like it's easy to be misinterpreted as the official YouTube panel, especially when there is no process or official YouTuber panel, anything from the actual show. But like, it's just a bunch of friends who know each other, of whom one of them submits a panel. And when a panel has more than 6 or 7 people and has a 45 to 50 minute time slot, there's a whole lot of question as to like, okay, what are we doing with this panel necessarily? So yeah, I hope that it's clear every time we do it. It's one of the things I tried to make clear at the start of that panel, is that like, we are not the YouTube panel. We are simply a YouTube panel with some people who do YouTube stuff who mostly happen to know each other, and that's just how that turns out. Yeah, Jobby was on the panel last time. I'm pretty sure... No, he's on the panel this time, too. And I'm doing my eager panel parent organizing, so I've got, like, a little timeline set up. It's, like... That's what I mean, is, like, when you have a panel with a bunch of people, one of the skill sets that I bring to panels is I'm pretty decent at organizing a panel and running a panel, and I think that is a helpful skill set when you have, like, 6 or 7 people on a panel. Last year is when David K. came in to say hello to Jobby, yes. So we've got that in the works. I think the agenda... I say agenda, right? Like, for a panel like that, like, the agenda is mostly figuring out the opening 20 minutes, because we try to leave the back 35 to 40 minutes just for Q&A. Doubly so now that we have, again, lived experience that really helps. Last year, we were... all of us, Jobby included, were somewhat unprepared for the Jobby audience. And thankfully, it was not a massive problem for the most part, and we were able to solve things, and a lot of those folks were very cool. And when we were talking to them, when we moved the whole ensemblage outside, for the most part, they were all quite kind and friendly and eager, and it was all good. So this time I know, like, okay, Jobby's on the panel, we should leave at least 35 to 40 minutes for Q&A, and also say very loudly and clearly, we need everyone to have singular, succinct questions for the sake of everyone getting to ask their questions. Because that's something that we didn't used to have to worry about, but with the sheer volume of people that were coming up, it became apparent that I'm going to be saying something, like, hopefully clear enough and firm enough at the front, which is like, we need singular, clear questions. I think Jobby has announced this, too. Jobby has a table this year, so that helps a lot, because that means I can say we need singular, concise questions. Also, don't worry, Jobby has a table, so if you have, like, multiple questions, or you have, like, more, like, wide, broad conversation topics you want to have, like, he has a table. So... there is a venue for it. Don't worry, this is not your one and only chance. That kind of thing. And yeah, oh my god, I'm fired. That's what it is. They're super enthusiastic. What happened was... because I think I think I've talked about this already. Like, what happened was, the panel ended, and so we looked, and I kind of had this moment of realization, so I was like, okay, everybody, we cannot all gather in the panel room up here at the panel, because another panel's coming in, so we all have to... oh, good night, Lee. We all have to go out in the hall. Alright? Cool. So everyone was fine with that. They all listened. We went out into the hall, which is the lobby of the hotel. And I'm like, okay, everybody, let's just hang out with Jobby over here, make sure everything's fine. And then we are just pile-driven into a column by this human tide. And I'm like, okay, so I'm Project Manager brain activates. I'm like, all right, so this is bad. Not because anything dangerous, dangerous is happening. Not because anything villainous is happening. However, we are clogging up the front lobby of a hotel. This will make them very angry about the nerds in the lobby, me included. So, I said something like, okay, everyone, we actually can't do this here. So let's all go outside the front door, into the little parking lot out there by the outdoor restaurant. But don't go in the restaurant, let's just go into the open space out there. And so we went out there, and then that was working out, and then I was like, okay, now, everyone, let's form a kind of a queue, a line, if you will. And they did. And then about 5 minutes later, I kind of had to go like, okay, you're doing great, but the line is literally blocking the front door to the hotel. So let's put a little break in that line so that people can get in the front door of the hotel so they don't come out here and beat us all to death. And then it was all great. So, lived experience. Now I have like a base process I can activate if something like that happens again. But like I said, Jobby having a table I think it kind of, it doesn't solve everything. I guess I think that would be asking for unforeseen problems. But I think that is an excellent piece of safety tape that goes around the whole thing. Because now, whatever happens, it's like, because I think the part of it is just like, you know, the natural worry if you're a fan of Jobby is like, this is my only chance to see him in person at this thing. Uh-oh, I got to get my moment. And then having like a couple hundred people do that, you know, it creates a crowd scenario. So now it's a lot easier to be able to go like, hey, don't worry, he's got a table. So if this is a little bit much, he can just like swing by the table and see if he's there. And it's, yeah, Meryl, you can also buy his toys. I didn't know if he was actually like selling toys or anything. So that's more data for me. I should probably go check the video about the existence of the table. Anyway, did that ramble all make sense? I kind of went on for a bit. I'm doing that thing again where I like talking to people. Does a YouTube panel happen in Toronto too? Yes, usually. Our same little friend group basically like submit one every year because like Ultra Primal at least is at every show. And then usually enough of us are at a show for it to make sense to submit a panel. Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly, Transformer. That's the thing, is like, I was like, I see a crowd crush situation possibly happening, and I don't think anyone is trying to instigate it, so I'm gonna try to solve it. I would try to solve it anyway, but I was like, nobody's doing anything inherently, you know, villainous here. It's just everyone's trying to figure out this kind of new situation. I'm also, the only reason why I'm saying that I thought of the solutions is after it all was done, I asked everyone, I was like, for the sake of me telling stories, I remember being the one who said, let's go outside, but did that happen? Or am I stealing valor from someone? And it sounded like everyone said that, no, I'm not stealing valor, so I'm operating under that assumption. But, you know, if I'm getting anything wrong, like, you know, defer to other folks who were there too. So that said, yeah, I'm all that said, when it comes to the question of, do I have a protocol for autographs or photos? Hell, do I have protocols, baby? But no, don't worry about it. I'm happy to do stuff. As long as I'm not heading somewhere, then I'm happy to do whatever. So if I'm heading somewhere, then I'll be like, I'll just say like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm just on my way somewhere. Maybe we could connect later on. It was me, Barry. It's true. I also, amidst all of this, I was like, you know what, though? I want Tonbot's valor. Specifically. For the flavor. But yeah. I'm hoping TFCon LA goes really well. Because, you know what? TFCon Orlando went really well, for the most part. And that's the one that probably was the highest potential of going super bad. So... I think we all good. Gonna line up with my 50 Funkos for Vangelus. That'd be the messed up part, because it's like, what would they even be? Just 50 random Funkos specifically to waste my time? Guess you could call this tangent a Valor rant. Take it easy, Richard Reyes. I hope you can find sleep this time, Sideswipe Prime. You didn't know about the Vangelus Funko Pop. They never tell me anything, y'all. They never tell me anything. Oh, thank you so much still for that Universal Studios evac. That is still with a Junkion mint on card so that they both keep their cards straight. I think, if that's the one I'm thinking of, because that's the second evac, right? The Universal Studios carded one. I prefer the Nendoroid. Yeah, me too. The Nendoroid at least kind of looks like me. I feel if you can gut tie your Adamas and Calidus, right, in such a way that I can sign them, I probably still would say I refuse, because I'd feel too bad about that. That's the only thing, is if you hand me an action figure or like a mint on card figure to sign, because that happens once or twice, I will probably question you, only because like I want to make sure that I'm not like ruining something. So please don't be offended if I question it. It's just that is my nature. Yeah, Figma Vangelus got stuck in that proto stage because they found out I stole my model, and like, you know, obviously I stole my on-screen model. That's how I friggin' keep myself in the black. Otherwise, I'm gonna be in the red. I mean, pfft. Yeah, Lego never sent me the Lego Creations Vangelus. Oh God, making me sign a Pose Plus on the toy. I spent $600 just to make you have an anxiety attack. I mean, eventually I'd do it. My at the end of the day, my improv brain will take over and yes and it and go like, we love failure, and then start signing the expensive toy. Oh my God, on fire! Yes! I may not look like it or sound like it, but I'm too aware of a lot of garbage gossip when I start to look at a space. I don't even want to know about the garbage gossip, I just learn it all. Have I ever signed frame-printed art of me by DJW? My mom has a framed one that she made, but I don't think I've only ever signed the almanac. I've never signed, like, a print of that artwork. You can make a fan-made figure of my subtitles if you, you get what's called a printer, and then, granted, this will be a lot of ink, right? But you print just a pitch black sheet, but leave some Futura font in white along the bottom, and then that's like a garage kit of the subtitles. Those Hasbro face scan 6-inch figures, like those didn't those kind of just like cease to exist very suddenly, shortly after the first round of like sending them out to people? I remember Fake Eyes got one of those because he was at one of the events where you could get your face scanned. Those things were weird. Yeah, they were all just on like the Titan, weren't they? Like the weird like the soap bottle toy. Working 5 hours. You get to bed. Good night, everybody. Yeah, I should probably start playing the music too. My whole plan with this stream was like, I'm just gonna do a quick stream playing with my new toy. Oh, that's very kind. Thank you, Ransom Fern. There are some shots like I had one of my shots of Dangerous Zombie done up as a playmat because I thought it looked really good. I don't know a lot about getting prints made as far as like what the photo should be, like how the photo should be tweaked to maximize existing as a print. But I have a lot of DSLR stills I've taken over the years, and I wouldn't be opposed to making prints. I just don't know which ones or like how to do it. Is put my little scanned head on a Juggernaut figure. I think that would be fun. By the way, my little plan, aside from all the things I've wanted, this whole month I've wanted to get 3 reviews done and a Vox shredding, and I've got none of it done. I've only got it, like, poked at. It's so annoying. All that, the seasonal depressio, the executive dysfunctio, is a bunch of traitors. However, I still want to get at least 2 or 3 videos done before the end of the month. Because enough of them are in a position where if I have like 1.5 really good days, it's doable. But regardless, streaming-wise, tomorrow I might try to do a Boxshred, the one I was going to do on Valentine's Day, but then I bumped it because I ended up being in an improv show on Valentine's Day. So that's the one I want to do possibly tomorrow. Thursday night I'm going to be busy. Friday night, maybe, or on the weekend, ideally in those 3 days. We'll have one more news dive before Aaron heads over to LA. So that's what's going on with that. My apologies as always that I don't actually have like a schedule to present, but that's mostly on me. But I've looked around, and there's at least like 1 or 2 other streamer types who get away with it. So I'm a fancy boy too, so I've decided I will get away with it. But yeah, I'm gonna find the music. I'm gonna find the music and play it. Oh, that's gonna be loud. I saved everyone. But it's loud in real life now. There we go. I saved me. Trez Drummer, I'm happy. I mean, streaming helps me break out of spirals too, so it's a win-win. Streaming makes me excessively happy, so I should do it more. It is perhaps even indicative of one of my cycle symptoms that when streaming would make me happy, I go like, well, I certainly can't stream, and then I don't. So you know, we're uppercutting the bad neurons. Anyway, I'll catch you all. Thank you for tuning in, especially if you're still here. It's friggin' late. What do you gotta hydrate, drink water, and I'll catch you all later. Stay safe out there.
Let them come.